weekend, so it's wide open. Massimo Prina and Dylan Medler gone. Will it be Perina Senior? Could it be Kaminsky, the youngster? We've got some new drivers in all the categories and people moving up as well. It's going to be fun. Let's get 2026 underway. Okay, we are good to go here for race one of the season. There are two races each weekend, race one and race two, but this one's special because it is that first one of the year. We're going to start with Trofeo Pirelli. We will then move on to Copper Shell. We're getting ourselves ready to launch another season of Ferrari Challenge North America in style, down on the grid, national anthems, flags unfurling, air shows. We don't mess about. This is the Thermal Club in California to kick us off. We then go to Florida, Sebring. After that, it's down to Austin, Texas for COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Laguna Seca back over here in Cali, along with Sonoma, which is just up the road from Laguna Seca, the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. Road America to finish off the 6 weekends of American action. All of those are double headers, and then on to the finale, Mondiali, at the end of the year, where we bring together all of those Ferrari challenges and they face down to pick up the titles and the big trophies at the end of the year. This is the track at the Thermal Club. Look at turn 1. It's a hairpin. Look at turn 2. It goes the other way. Lots of overtaking opportunities right through till 5. Will we see them still fighting down that back straight? I reckon they'll be in a line by the time they get to that point. The 3 long carousels, then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Undulations through there. We saw a big crash there this morning on one of the crests over the top of one of the curbs there. So it is a tricky technical circuit, and it is very hot here as well. The temperatures are picked up. It says track temperature 30 degrees C, so that would be similar actually to this morning, but the air temperature 32, low wind speed. So I think it's going to be a hot old start to the day, and drivers going to be looking after their tyres as we get the racing underway. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us for the singing of the Italian and United States national anthems, performed by Ganson Salmon, accompanied by the unfurling of the United States flag. Immediately following, enjoy a spectacular air show presented by the Palm Springs Air Museum.
Dell'elmo di Scipio se cinta la testa, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma che schiava di Roma, Dio la creò. Fratelli d'Italia, l'Italia se desta, dell'elmo di Scipio se cinta la testa, dove la vittoria le porga la chioma che schiava di Roma, il Dio la creò. Stringiamoci a corte, sia pronti alla morte, sia pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò. Stringiamoci a corte, sia pronti alla morte, sia pronti alla morte, l'Italia chiamò, sì. its last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched with so gallantly stream, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great way to kick off race weekend. Ganson Salmon doing the honours with the national anthems, and now we have the air show coming in over the circuit as well. My name's Andrew Coley, alongside me, Tony Villander. Tony, we're looking forward to this after qualifying this morning. We only had the one incident at the end of quali with those longer sessions, but I think with the tyres being a bit cooked now and the temperatures coming up a bit, you're expecting there to be some action in these, aren't you?
Yeah, it was exciting to see drivers after qualifying. So at Casa Ferrari, I met a few of them. So a lot of drivers were happy to put it behind the first qualifying of the season. But a lot of unknowns to going into this race. Like you mentioned, with a lot of heat, the tire life, how to manage the race itself. Turn one, we see where you head, the turn one, accelerations towards there. You take the inside line, you back off, or you go aggressive. Can we go two side by side, or even three cars next to each other into turn one? So we don't have a lot of racing experience here. So let's see how the first race, Pirelli Am, will provide, what it will provide to us. I feel that the excitement is definitely rising. So let's see.
Indeed. There are those two aircraft flying alongside the mountains. There's snow on a couple of the mountains at the top, which you wouldn't believe really being down here, I say, when the temperature is 30 Celsius plus. I don't think it's quite as hot as yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely scorching. Today was expected to be warmer. I know it's just a little bit more of a breeze, but that's for us sitting in polo shirts in an air-conditioned studio. These guys are going to be wearing, well, that's a fireproof undersuit, but it's a bit like wearing ski thermals, isn't it? Underneath a race suit, which is a bit like wearing a duffel coat, and then sitting in a car, which is a bit like sitting in a sauna. So it's going to be very hot. And the likes of Kaminsky, who's worked really hard on his fitness, not so much of a problem. Some of our drivers are not quite so young and maybe haven't been in the gym quite so much. It's going to be quite a tough afternoon, I think, even for Kaminsky.
Yeah, first of all, for our pole driver, he had an exciting start for the season. So pit limiter was stuck on his outlap for qualifying, and it was long minutes to get back on the pit lane, fix the problem, do a master, switch off everything, put everything back on, and he was working again. He managed to put himself on pole position, but this young driver is very hungry for more and very determined. A lot of lessons learned from last year, so he looks to be really ready for the start of the season. It's physically demanding. A 30-minute race on paper looks pretty solid, but inside the car, the heat, the physical thing, the lateral G, everything you fight with the tires and the changing grip level, and at the same time you're racing against other cars. We have more than 20 cars on track, so it is not an easy task.
It's going to be a lot. Now, you mentioned Kaminsky was very good last year. He had to skip one round because he wasn't old enough. That's how young he is. He's still studying at school.
It's a good problem to
yes,
have.
it is a good problem. It's not a problem I've got anymore, unfortunately. But we had a brilliant season last year. We're about to kick off 2026. Let's take a look back at last year, 2025, and the Ferrari Challenge North America. It was a fantastic season last year. Look at this. I forget what that game's called. Cornhole. There we go. That's what the game's called. It's good. They're actually both doing pretty well, Tony. That's better than I'd be doing, I think. Shall we go? Oh, nearly.
Yeah, that's definitely not my strongest skills.
We're just discussing whether or not Tony was what things he was good and bad at, and I've discovered that he's been banned from karaoke.
Yes,
we didn't have any plans to sing on today's show, so that's not too much of an issue for the broadcast. But yeah, it's a shame, mate.
Yeah, I was told at school that obviously at the younger age, a lot of energy. Keep on doing what you're doing right now, but one thing in life, please do not sing. And I've kept that advice. And only on few occasions, Kimi did put my name on a karaoke, and let's not
talk about
spoil
that.
the story how it ended. So.
Well, we are just two members of a three-member team here in terms of your on-air people, on-air team, but we've got some wonderful people behind the scenes as well. But let's get down to the third member of our on-air team, and that is Nina Jade Poole. She's down in pit lane.
Thank you, Andrew. You said today was a little bit cooler. I don't know about that because the heat has definitely ramped up. We are just moments away from the first race of the season here at this very, very special track. And the energy on track is absolutely electric. This desert circuit is fast and it's flowing. It's that very flow that makes overtaking a little bit tricky around here. Jan Bernier, how are you? You have moved up a class this season. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling okay with it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know after today.
One of the big stories this weekend is, of course, the weather, the heat. How do you think the tyres are going to handle?
I think the last half of the race is going to tell who took care of their tires or not. It's going to be very important to manage tires.
Thanks for chatting with us. Well, like Jan said, it's going to be a matter of who can take care of their tyres the best here. And I have a feeling whoever is kindest on their tyres will certainly come out on top.
Great to hear from Nina Jade down there. It's definitely a little bit warmer. What are you looking at? Yes, Mitchell Green and Jan Bernier still close together, aren't they? Just as they were all last season. They were at the top of Copper Shell, and now they move up a category, and they're right there.
Yeah, it's amazing. They are next to each other again, and great battles last year. Tight ones, but with a lot of respect. So
I'd love to see them move up again next year to Pirelli and then still be fighting each other. It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Do the same again.
Yeah, it'd be fun. That's our pole sitter, Michael Mathes. Getting his balaclava on. This is the sort of event where you have several sets of balaclavas and underwear because it does get very hot. Some of the guys will even have a couple of race suits. Yeah, a hot, sweaty race suit is no fun to put back on. You see the carbon helmet, the Hans device there. That's the head and neck safety, that's called. Developed after some pretty severe accidents in NASCAR. It's been a key piece of motorsport safety in recent years. The umbrellas are up. Look, the foil blankets are across the windscreens ahead of getting us out onto this track and the challenge which lays ahead for the drivers. Talking of which, we had a fantastic opportunity to get an onboard lap with a driver who is a member here at the Thermal Club, and that is Kyle Washington, who qualified third in the Pirelli category. So let's get on board with him now and learn a bit more about the layout of the track here.
Hi guys, I'm Kyle Washington, driver of the #1 car here at Ferrari Challenge at the lovely Thermal Club in Southern California. Beautiful day. I'm about to take you on a lap around this gorgeous track.
Okay, here we go. Start finish at Thermal Club. Coming into the first hairpin 180-degree turn. This is going to be chaos in the start. It's a very slow turn. You got to be patient. Use all the track back on the power. Get to the left for turns 2 and 3, which is a double apex. It's a soft brake coming in. Soft brake, ride the brake, gear down, be patient, back to power. And now that we're in a real technical section, we got a left, right. Here you have to be patient, left, right, stay on the apex, back to power. Now this next corner is the most important one because it leads on to the longest straightaway on the track. So you got to get a good exit. It's very crucial right here. Back to power as soon as possible, but you need full power. And now you're bored for a long time until you hit about 160 miles an hour, and then it is a maximum braking, threshold braking here. And this is also a double apex. It's a left, back to power. Turning onto the first carousel. This is a smaller carousel. It's a full right. Be patient, right. Quick straightaway, and then we're on the long carousel. This is a long left. Be patient, back to power. Then we're up over the hill. It's a blind hill, but nothing treacherous until you get to the S's. Boom, you got to take that curve. It's a most important part of the track right here, and the most dangerous. Coming on to a tight 180 onto another long straightaway. Back to power, use all the track. Long, nice straightaway. You can have time to look at your gauges, look at your tire pressures, and open the gauges purple. Threshold braking. Long right. It's almost a double right. Back to power into a blind right. There we almost go off the track, but you need all that track. And that's a lap at the Thermal Club.
Great stuff there from Kyle Washington. Nice on board to explain to us a little bit more about the layout. And Tony, I think you can see particularly the carousels. There are so many places here where the car is so heavily loaded.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you need to have a car that is good on rotation, stiff enough, almost neutral race car for qualifying on sticker on new tires. And that creates a problem with the tire wear. Then the car becomes more loose on the rear. You will have oversteer at the exit of slow speed corners, but at the same time you're lacking a lateral support at medium to high speed corners. So very different requirements on new tires and used tires. That's why drivers and teams are a bit worried. How is the balance mid to end of this 30-minute race? So not an easy track to do the setup and get everything perfect. Looks really fun and nice to drive. Very smooth, very clear points where you can gain time, being having a lot of courage, but at the same time, it's not an easy track.
I mean, we've got some guys here who are members, like Kyle Washington is a member. I guess they know the place a bit more, but and they could have bought their challenge cars here or spare challenge cars. But as a series, of course, the teams have not been here. And if they'd been here, they'd have more data. So I guess today is a bit more of a stab in the dark. And then tomorrow you'll have some data to base those decisions off.
Normally on Ferrari Challenge, we have several test sessions.
Of course, yeah.
So the basic work is done there, based on the setup, also for the tire presses and so on. But to complete the testing and the driver comments with the engineers is to have the first real race start.
Yeah.
And a lot of unknowns going into turn one. Is a very demanding slow speed, 180-degree corner with double apex. So who is going to overshoot the corner? Who is going to be too cautious in the braking area, creating problems and pressure from the drivers behind? So the racing itself will complete the process of learning what it means to be fast and to know the tricks of thermal. Yes, the members have had more track time here, but it helps until a certain point. Then others catch, and the learning process is very fast.
Yes, yeah. And they are going to have to learn very fast how turn one's going to be here, aren't they? Certainly, that's going to come up quick. We know it's a hairpin. The track width actually widens a little bit on the inside line, so there is room to make a move. And we have also seen in the past that if it's dirty off the racing line, sometimes if you want to make hay, you've got to get on with it at the start of the race. You've got to be decisive and make those moves. Some of these drivers will be brave enough to do that. Some maybe not so much. And then, of course, you can be too optimistic. So finding that balance is also difficult.
Yeah, back to basics. So what the race director wants to see at the start is two clear cues of cars before the lights go off or we see the green flag. And that's the first thing. Don't jump the line before you're allowed to do it. You risk a penalty straight away, and penalty drive through here will damage your race in a way that you're out of chance of winning the race. And then after that, where you position yourself into turn one. Normally, safest place is inside. Inside into turn one, inside into turn 2 and 3, and this way you try to avoid all the big issues. But having said that, if the inside lane breaks earlier, then you have the opportunity to brake really deep and try to gain position
around the outside. And of course, the next corner is the other way.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Lots of opportunities. They will also try and separate the two categories. So last year we had a couple of incidents. One was in Miami at the Formula One track where somebody from the second group got a bit enthusiastic and took somebody out from the first group. So there is now a bigger gap between the Trofeo Pirelli cars and the Trofeo Pirelli AM cars. So the two sections of the race, while they race together, will line up separately. The other thing that always interests me is that the Pirelli AM guys, so for instance Mathes, Green and Bernier, were quick enough to be in P5, P6 with the Pirelli guys, so they are starting the race behind Pirelli drivers who they are probably quicker than. And then we also have people like Bitton, your driver from before you were coaching, who we don't know how quick he's going to be because he had problems in qualifying. So there are lots of questions to answer here. So a bit of chance here to warm tyres up. I mean, we're talking about what the temperatures are. You still want to get them up to race temperature.
Yeah, exactly. Drivers get a feel now for the race car, more fuel compared to qualifying, and also the used set from this morning's qualifying session. So drivers do want to feel the race car under braking, build up the tire pressures and temperatures to be ready when you're approaching into that turn one. So and it should not be a big of an issue, but still stay more on the racing line. Don't collect the dirty parts of the racetrack. Don't mess up your tires before the start of the race, and try to maintain a good speed towards the start of the race.
Here is that long carousel. This is the left-hander, which is up at turn 9. The villas around the outside are the houses which you can own if you want to buy a property here at the Thermal Club. You have to become a member. It's very cool. One of the drivers described it as private pavement, which I thought was pretty cool. If you're watching from Europe, you might be thinking pavement as in sidewalk. No, pavement as in that's what over here we call sealed surface. So I guess it would be referred more as tarmac or racetrack over in Europe, but it's pavement over here if you're racing on pavement. And that, of course, is because they race on pavement and on dirt in many series over here. The NASCAR Junior Series start on dirt ovals before they head up to pavement ovals as well. This track, obviously, pavement completely, although we did have a couple of drivers earlier on today who tried to include a gravel section as well. The number one corner for that is the last corner, isn't it, coming onto the start-finish straight. No need to take that risk, I think, so much now, other than not getting past, because you're not looking to set that ultimate lap time, but you still do want to use all the track width. Yeah,
I mean, the natural character and the racing line coming out of last turn takes you all the way far left, just on the edge of the curb, and few drivers, Roberto Perina was one of them on his opening lap, almost got the whole car sideways, and the nose of the car pointing towards the inside wall. So need to be careful. Laguna Seca style dirt outside the pavement, like you mentioned, and also that is an issue. If a car goes off, it might be that just for a short time the visibility is very low because the dust and the dirt is up in the air. So a lot of things to control, a lot of things to be aware of going into race one.
Manny Franco on the front row with Johnny Kaminsky. Franco last year was the winner of round one, remember. He qualified third at Sonoma, came back in Miami, qualified fifth and won there as well. So Manny Franco is very capable, was only at those two events last year.
For race car driver, know your opponents as well. Manny Franco last year didn't participate all the events, so Manny can be very aggressive at the start of the race, and Johnny Kaminsky, he's committed for the full championship. So always know your opponents and who are you fighting against.
Yes.
So is a P2 good for Johnny Kaminsky if Manny Franco wins the race, or does Johnny wants to start the season with a good winning spirit, P1 in qualifying and winning the race one? So these are the interesting facts, risk and reward, who is willing to risk more and what is the more sensible, reasonable thing to do.
I think Kaminsky will want the win because he came last year. I say Kaminsky was on the podium 4 or 5 times, wasn't he? But he never got the win, so he's still waiting on. Even when he got the pole at Mugello, he was P4 both times there. He's desperately waiting on that first win, and I think he's 17. I'm pretty sure that would give him maybe the youngest ever win in Ferrari Challenge. We'd have to check that. We know he was the youngest ever pole last year when he was only 16 at Daytona, but as you say, if Manny Franco's not doing the whole season, it doesn't matter. But try telling that to you when you were 17, Tony, you know, and you're on pole.
Yeah, you mentioned Mugello, so Johnny Kaminsky's performance at the finals in Mugello was impressive, because knowing the character of the Mugello's track, being medium to high-speed corners and under the rain, he was dominating and he was super fast. So his performance was there very, very impressive. We saw mechanics around Roberto Perina's car, final checks on tire pressures, and you can see and here the mechanics bleeding the pressure, so already the pressures were high, and now they were set in the right target.
Yeah, as the heat comes in, remember the temperature of the air goes up, that makes the air expand, and then that changes the shape of the tyre, if you're wondering why tyre pressures are so critical. I know most people at home, myself included, I was terribly lazy with my road cars. My rally car, I would check the tyre pressures when we left service, check them again before the first stage. The van that I drive on the road, I check the tyre pressures about once a year, Tony. So it's terrible, isn't it?
But I think here the good thing to mention, if you ride your bicycle, and you don't have enough air on your tires, it's really
hard
work. Same thing about the cars. If the pressures are not right, it's not a good ride. It doesn't go well. No. So it's a good thing to check the tire pressures.
Absolutely, it affects. I mean, yeah, and to be fair, all jokes aside, you should be checking it on your own car a couple of times a year at least. Normally once in the summer and once in the winter when the temperatures change, the ambience. But here it's critical to the shape of the tyre, to the handling of the car, to the traction on the exit of corners. It's critical to all of those things. So look at this, fanning the door already down on the grid because it's getting so hot. That's Brad Falvera's car there that's having the door fanned. It will be absolutely boiling in there. Grinzevich the third is down in the number 63 there, the green and yellow car. So he's at the back. Then we move on to the Pirelli Am. That's Michael Mathes in the blue and silver number 5. This side behind him, Jan Bernier, last year's P2 in the Shell category. In front of him on the front left is Mitchell Green, last year's champion in that. So those guys have come up and gone straight to the top. Having said that, Mitchell, I think, is a member here. I don't think Jan Bernier is, and that goes to show that it's perfectly capable to do the lap times when you're not a member, and that they both very much deserve to be up in this category. There's a bit of me that thinks they should have put them up 2 categories if they've qualified P2 and P3, but they want to earn that way, don't they? They want to have another good season, not go to Pirelli and feel like they're completely overwhelmed. It's a good ladder.
Start your Ferrari engines.
There we go. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines, done by Luca Zanetti, the president of Ferrari North America. And we are ready to go. Going to get these cars rolling out on their warm-up lap. Rolling start, remember, for Ferrari Challenge, to keep the incidents down off the start. Must admit, I'd like to see the Pirelli guys do a standing start. I understand in Copper Shell you're still learning. I'd love to see it. What do you think, Tony? Too much?
Yeah, it's a little bit too much, I feel. I think the rolling start is a good thing to do. Just for the drivers, reminder that stay in your own lane until the green flag, and then the racing starts. So sometimes we see those Ferrari Challenge drivers being too already thinking way ahead, and then they forget the basic stuff. I've been as an advisor a few times with the race director, and going through various accidents and going through various penalties. Sometimes the basic ones are the ones that hurt the most because you just lost the concentration. So we're into opening race of the season. Stay focused.
Yeah, can't wait for this. You can see the Trofeo Pirelli cars are heading out now. There's a second safety car, I think, ahead of the Trofeo Pirelli Am drivers. We're rolling all those cars out onto their warm-up lap, and we're getting ready for race 1 of 2026. Ferrari Challenge North America 2026 starts here at the Thermal Club. We've got the Trofeo Pirelli race up first with Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am. The drivers you can see on the grid right now rolling around their warm-up lap. On pole, Johnny Kaminsky, 1 lap, got it done. Manny Franco, twice a winner last year, a member here at the Thermal Club. Kyle Washington, P3, also a member. Roberto Perina, so quick. An incredible run of podiums at the end of the season last time round. Then it's Gray Falvera and Brian Cook on row 3. On row 4, it's Brad Falvera and Jonathan Weisman. Row 5, George Grinzevich III, member here, very quick last year in Club Challenge with David Bitton, who had problems during qualifying. Michael Mathes and Mitchell Green up next. Mitchell Green, last year's Copper Shell champion in that big battle with Jan Bernier, who's 1 row back from him. Esteban Beckman there as well. Those guys all at the front of Trofeo Pirelli Am. Michael Porter and Matthew Diel on side-by-side on row 8. Row 9 sees Martin Burrows and Gregory Hopkins. Row 10, Geras Venceslas and Frank Chang. And then on row 11, on his own, Kevin Gutierrez. We're good to go. Take a deep breath and strap yourselves in, people. 2026 about to get underway. We're going to see what happens when we send all these cars down into a hairpin at turn 1. Hopefully not too much in the way of carnage. I think they'll keep it sensible, especially you don't want to ruin your championship on the very first event.
Yeah, you would need to think that you need to participate and complete the full championship. It's not only about one race start, but drivers do forget that. They are fully focused for the start of the season. And right now they're just thinking about the green flag and turn 1. That's the only thing they have on their mind.
Yeah, they're ready to fight, ready to go for it. Kaminsky, so the 17-year-old with Manny Franco alongside. Franco, Tony's already said, is an aggressive starter, very good driver, twice a winner last year, but only came to 2 events last year, so he won one of each of his races at each of the events. So if he's as busy, a lot of these guys, of course, are very successful and busy businessmen, so they can't all do the championship. And then you've got people like Kaminsky, who is a career driver. He's looking to turn himself into a professional driver. And for that, he will be here for the whole series. And as Tony said, you've got to measure your results against the risk. What is the risk? What is the reward? Now they start to line up in 2 lines either side. Trofeo Pirelli being held a long way back as well, which is going to give us a nice opportunity to follow these leaders through the first few turns. Round through the last of the carousels, and we've got that right kink, and Kaminsky will be able to hold them.
I'm going to tap you on the shoulder exactly where...
So Kaminsky then on the inside line, holding everybody back, really backs the pack up. It's absolutely stacked, couldn't be closer here. And we've got a green flag, so Kaminsky will open up the throttle when he wants to as he comes over the line, and there he goes. So nicely done by Johnny Kaminsky. Holds on to his position. I think Perina might get up one place. Oh, he's going to have to go the long way round if he does. Kaminsky clearly away out front. P2 is going to go to Manny Franco, but Kyle Washington and Roberto Perina. What's that damage down at the back there, Tony? Contact, maybe a couple of mirrors?
Yeah, there was some contact between 2 cars, and now we see the Pirelli Am start.
So Pirelli Am start, but top left of your screen is our Pirelli drivers. That's Jan Bernier up the inside of Mitchell Green. Mitchell Green with the green, cars collecting each other. Too late on the brakes in the background. Jan Bernier, I think, goes at Mitchell Green, who's out in the dirt on the outside. So Mitchell Green puts 2 wheels in the dirt. Jan Bernier gets the better of him. That's not the start that he would have wanted, but the start that he did want has gone to Johnny Kaminsky. Manny Franco now coming under pressure already from Washington, behind Kyle Washington, and they're side by side. Further back, carnage! Absolute carnage in the background. Wow, okay. That's Martin Burrows, who's gone round in the 22, is Michael Porter. He's off as well. So Porter is way off in the dirt. He's trying to come back through what is like a ploughed field at their broken rear suspension on the number 46 of Burrows. So he's going to be out of this race. He's going to have to come in. Front splitter damaged as well. So carnage, but out front pressure coming now. So Jan Bernier is in behind Michael Mathes. Mitchell Green has dropped down a position. You'll see that on the graphics when he comes around to the start-finish line. Bernier really trying to make a move here on Mathes if he can. Through the carousel corners here. This isn't going to be where it's going to get done, but you could cook your tyres in here easily. Tony, you said you thought there might be a bit of exciting stuff at the start, and I think it's safe to say there was.
Yeah, Pirelli's start was really clean. Manny Franco ran a little bit wide into turn 1, but then Pirelli Am start, you could see that there was a little bit more optimism breaking into turn 1, some contact between turns 1 and 2, and then later on we saw bigger contact.
We did indeed. So Mitchell Green is still there. He's coming under pressure from behind. Oh, contact there. So Green's been hit on the inside unless he turned in. We didn't see it in the shot, and he's now about to be swerved on the straight. Pulls out from the slipstream, trying to find a way through. Mitchell Green playing defensive here. Behind him is the number 77. It's Esteban Beckman. So Beckman was inside Mitchell Green up at the hairpin. There was contact between them. The cars don't seem too badly damaged. Beckman coming through. Beckman, has he lost a mirror? Beckman's going each way, so Beckman's lost his left mirror. Mitchell Green maybe with damage from the off earlier on. Esteban Beckman goes up the inside of Mitchell Green. Mitchell Green comes back at him, has to jump on the brakes. Mitchell Green now looking for a better exit, but Beckman's got him. Someone across the dirt in front of them, so yeah, it has all kicked off here. Look, bits of cars falling off. Carnage, everybody needs to chill.
Yeah, Mitchell Green didn't have, with the green car, he didn't have a very good start for his race. He went off in the exit of turn 1, and after that he lost the momentum a little bit. Johnny Kaminsky, overall leader, had a very good start. very dominant since the acceleration at the race start, and he's been controlling the race so far.
Yeah, Kaminsky's gap now is how much? 2 seconds. It's only 0.4 back to Manny Franco from Roberto Perina. Let's take a look at a replay of some of these incidents then from earlier on. This is Mitchell Green on the inside line here. So Green inside. He runs the car. Well, there's the contact. So, so 46 was Martin Burrows. For me, there tagged the rear end.
Yeah, Burrows touched, was it 22?
Yeah,
Porter.
Yeah, Michael Porter.
Spun the car, and here is Burrows' car. He had front left flat, and also the rear toe link or the rear suspension.
Yeah, there was a lot of toe on the rear, wasn't there? So, that's a disaster then for the start of his season, but there we go. Brian Cook in P4 in Pirelli at the moment. Behind him, Gray Favre, and then Brad Favre behind there. Manny Franco dropped the third, so Perina, yeah, correct, Perina's got through. So I wonder what's happened there. Further up the road, and they're out on the dirt again on the outside. There was a lot of dirt on the track here, I noticed, Tony, on the previous lap. It looks like it might be Manny Franco trying to clean his tyres after he's come back on, but so Perina up 2 positions, Manny Franco down 1, Kaminsky with the fastest lap. That's what the purple stopwatch means up on the top side of your screen. It was the last lap with a 2:00.4.
Yeah.
So what's
Johnny is really fast right now. He's almost a second faster than Roberto Perina and Manny Franco. A bit surprised that Manny cannot hold with either Roberto Perina or Johnny Kaminsky. I was expecting a bit more from Manny's skill level, experience, that he could hold on with the leaders and even challenge for the overall lead.
Yeah, you've got Gray and Brad Favre together, father and son, so they will not want to take each other out, but they're behind Brian Cook and applying a bit of pressure. Cook in P4, it's a train of 3 cars there, and they're only separated by a second.
Stopped.
Perina stopped, he's off.
Yeah.
So Roberto Perina at the side of the track. Down. So Roberto Perina on a go slow here. He's passed around the outside by that train of 3 cars in the carousel. Nicely done by Perina, but that is a shame for him. Right at the start of his championship, such a good end to last year. A run of how many podiums at the end of the year? It was absolutely crazy. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think it was 10 podiums in a row, maybe 9. But he's not going to start this year with one, unfortunately. That's a shame.
Yeah, it looked all 4 wheels were fine. The car didn't have any major damage outside, but some technical issues. Very unfortunate. He started the race well, was able to be P2 at this stage of the race, and then just lost the drive.
Mitchell Green's in trouble here for me. Perina off to the side, and the rest of these cars come running through. Perina's done a great job, real gentleman there to stay out of the way of everyone. Mitchell Green, I think, is carrying an issue because he's got a train of cars behind him when he was right up at the front during qualifying. It might be something small, but I think it's affecting him because the gap is growing in front of him. And look at this, there's a train of cars behind him. Venceslas, Chang, Gutierrez, DL, they're all in there. Hopkins, maybe Porter as well on the back of that pack.
And also the fact that you are in a different category now. The racing is different.
Yeah.
So he lost a little bit of momentum at the start. It might be, like you mentioned, that he has something that is preventing him not to do good lap times, but at the same time here the racing is a bit more tough. If you leave the door open, there will be more cars diving in, and he's lost a little bit of momentum at the start of the race.
That is true. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that before. Of course, he was at the front of the Copper Shell field. Now he's at the front of Trofeo Pirelli Am, with enough pace arguably to be up with the Pirelli runners, but we saw, don't forget, he's been hit definitely once, maybe twice, but I know he's been hit once. So it could be something as simple, couldn't it, Tony? Look at the car moving around the rear. I mean, he was on the curbs there. Could be something as simple as a couple of degrees of toe somewhere on the car.
Yeah, it might be.
And it might be nothing.
Yeah.
It might be nothing. They can't up the inside. So Venceslas coming under pressure here from Chang in the number 89, the gold and black coloured car. Chang can't find a way through this time. Might lose a bit of time on the straight. Venceslas now weaving just slightly in the background. Moves going on as well. Pulling out from the slipstream to look for a way through at the end of the straight with this long braking zone. Defensive braking in the background.
Yeah, I think Mitchell Green's car looks a bit weird on the rear right. The rear right tire looks a bit funny. Like even now the car is moving, so it looks like he has some issues with the car, Mitchell Green.
Yeah. DL and Gutierrez, I think it is, having a back. Yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe just crabbing slightly, you think. Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Let's see, but a lot of movement when he's loading the right rear, there's a lot of movement from his race car.
Yeah, with this stack of cars behind, I'm going to message his driver coach and see if we can get some inside information on whether he's got a problem with the car. Venceslas dropping behind. So that's Chang has gone through. So Venceslas drops a position down, and we'll want to come back at that as quickly as he can.
Because Mitchell is lapping 2.5 seconds slower than Beckman in front of him in the category. So
it's too much, I think, considering his respective pace. Well, Jan Bernier would be a good one to compare him to, because we know how close they are. And Bernier is 2.1 seconds a lap quicker. I'm pretty sure it's an issue, and that's why Chang and Venceslas and everybody else are stacking up behind. It is Kevin Gutierrez who's in kind of the off-white coloured car. Look at the gap commenced. He's got 6.3 seconds. Last lap was 2:01.4. That was a second clear of Manny Franco's last lap, and his best lap is further up the road still.
Yeah, Johnny's advantage now is closing to a margin that he needs to control his tires in case there is a safety car or something that everybody's packed together again. He needs to have performance also mid to end of the race. So be clever. You build a 6-second lead now. Maintain this. Drop your pace a little bit and save those tires towards the end of the race.
Yeah, so they're 4 laps in now, coming round for 5. We're 20 minutes in, so we're only looking at it's a half-hour race. Remember, could be looking at a 14 to 15 lap race. We know the tires are kind of cooked after 3 from quali this morning, which they've done. So it's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not an easy task, and then you can feel now that the tires are there and the performance in there, and in 15 minutes you can feel completely different. So Johnny needs to use the experience he has from last year. He did well in several races, so now just keep calm and maintain this pace.
Jan Bernier is doing a very nice job in P2 in his category. We were looking at him just a minute ago with the blue and orange coloured car. This is the battle between Favre, Cook and Favre. So Cook is between them. So Gray Favre has managed to get past Brian Cook. And now Brad Favre looking for a way through as well. Didn't see what happened there. In the background, I think it's Grinzovic. Yeah, it is George Grinzovic, who is in P7. Weisman in front of him in P6. This is Gray making the pass. Tidy. That's nicely done at that point, up the inside of the late apex corner. And I would have thought he would have lost out more onto the straight, but he didn't.
Yeah, very well prepared overtaking after the S's. Confident dive inside and very clean overtaking. Good job.
Yeah, moved him out wide. It's kind of blocked pass-ish onto the straight. Look at the black lines at the end here, and you can see where the bumps are in the braking zone. So where it's very dark and lighter is where the wheels lock or don't lock, and it's just tiny bits of bumps. But again, that's the sort of thing you have to control and think about.
Yeah, the bumps on the racetrack is 2 things. On the setup-wise, you need to see the limits, and then the other thing is with the ABS, you need to sometimes modulate the pressure, because if you run too deep into ABS, you just lose the distance where you normally would stop your race car. So sometimes you need to adapt a little bit when the ABS runs and interacts too much, then you need to modulate the brake pressure.
So Mitchell Green is now behind Chang. So Chang has managed to make a pass on him. Gutierrez is next up. Chang runs wide. Mitchell Green looking back up the inside line, but no way through, and that's giving Gutierrez a chance to be right underneath his rear wing behind him. Gutierrez looks out to the outside line. There isn't any room there, but he could make a move come the end of the next straight. Yeah, look at Green's car there. The rear moved on the way in. That's really unusual, isn't it? And he runs wide again. So Gutierrez trying to find a way through. He's brave if he goes through this sequence of corners at the back. This is the long set of lefts and rights with the undulation changes. But I would expect him to have a go at the end of the straight, Tony, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Mitchell needs to control his car continuously and use quite tight racing line all the time. So close every overtaking opportunity from the other drivers. And this is a very intense 3-way battle now. So let's see what happens here.
You can hear just a squeak of a Pirelli there with a locked wheel. Mitchell Green does a nice job keeping Gutierrez behind. His driver coach Jamie Morrow has replied to me and said maybe an alignment issue, but if it is, it's small. But they've picked up some oversteer, is what he said on the radio, which we saw earlier on. Gutierrez with the dive up the inside, goes really late on the brakes, chinks the steering out and manages to get through the gap. So Gutierrez has managed to get past as well. I think Mitchell Green did well to hold on to that. Venceslas is going backwards as well here. The yellow car with the stripes down the middle has been losing position, so I wonder if Venceslas too struggling a little bit out there.
Yeah, looks like his car has a little bit of oversteer over the stint, so a few sideways moments already in the exit of the corner, so he's struggling as well.
It's Greg Hopkins who's behind him in the purple and yellow coloured car. This is, where are we now? Back up with the leaders, I think. Here we are, it's Brian Cook and Brad Favre. So Brad trying to find a way through, and I think you can see there from how far Gray is up the road that there is more pace. Having said that, I mean, you know, maybe Cook is Cook by name, Cook by nature, trying not to cook his tyres and hang on and have some performance at the end. We could, in theory, see that here this weekend if people really do bake the tyres too soon. I thought he might be, no, I thought he was carrying a bit of damage to the front, but I don't think he is actually. I think it's just the bright yellow colour on the front splitter. Halfway distance in this encounter, Johnny Kaminsky leads. He has the fastest lap, and his last lap actually, Franco took a little bit of time out of him, but not a lot. And as Tony Villander said a few moments ago, Kaminsky has enough of a gap at 6.9 seconds to start to manage his Pirelli tyres. It's then Gray, Favre, Brad Cook. We've got Favre after that as well, then Weisman, Grinzovic and Mathez, the first of the Pirelli Am runs, with Jan Bernier behind. Bernier 2.5 off the back of Mathez now. Beckman, Chang, Gutierrez, Mitchell Green and Matthew Diel down to Venceslas in P15. This is Grinzovic and Weisman, you can see on screen now from the ladder graphic on the left. Grinzovic in the green and yellow car. Grinzovic was quick in the practice sessions, but didn't get the job done in quali earlier on today. Still a very good driver. I think you've seen the cars start to move around now, Tony, quite considerably more than we saw at the start of the race.
Yeah, this is the moment that from here on you can see the tire wear and drivers are struggling. Also lap time wise, if you compare race leader Johnny Kominski's pace, he had 2:004 and now he's almost 2.5 seconds slower right now.
Action here between Chang and Gutierrez. Gutierrez is trying to find a way through. Chang coming under a lot of pressure down the straight. Gutierrez looking for the slipstream, goes late on the brakes out in the bumps, trying to do the long way round on Chang if he can. That's a great move. He's still side by side with him. Opposite lock from Gutierrez, and he is inside at the next corner. That's a great pass. The long way round on the brakes and held on.
Very impressive from the outside and kept his racing line, and then he had the inside line for the next one. So very impressive. So two great overtakings from already from Gutierrez. So first with Mitchell Green and now with Chang. So very great, very good stuff.
Yeah, impressive. The big opposite lock in the middle of the corner, I thought he would lose too much momentum there and maybe lose the position, but he doesn't. What's the gap in front of him though? It's, where is he? Interval was 0.4, yes, another 12 seconds, almost 13 seconds up the road to Esteban Beckman. So the gap there, here you go, you can see now on your screens, Beckman, look, is 12.7 seconds up the road, was 12.7 up the road from Chang. But Chang now has been dispatched by Gutierrez. You're looking at Esteban Beckman here, who's in P3, 7.4 off. Is he off the lead, or is he that off the position in front? Yeah, 7.4 off the position in front. Top of your screen you can see interval, that tells you if it's the gap in between the cars or the gap to the leader. Here's Jan Bernier sitting in P2, says he's 3.3 off the back of Mathez. It didn't look like it there. We'll get that gap updated when they come round. If that's Mathez in front of him, then Bernier's made a bit of headway into that gap, I think. Hard to tell, maybe it is. So Michael Mathez in the silver and blue car, the gap was 3.3. We'll keep an eye on that when they get to the end of the lap. Just a few more inputs from the drivers, you can see as the cars lose a bit of traction. Some of the drivers yesterday, Tony, was saying about adjusting the traction control, and that 3 to 5 laps in, some of them were going to position 2 straight away. Mitchell Green coming under increasing pressure again here. So is he going to lose more places? It's Matthew DL behind him and Gregory Hopkins.
Yeah, Mitchell's car is very difficult to handle. He's trying to brake very deep, very late, but the car is loose all the time, so the rear wants to come over and he needs to control the car continuously. Traction control, also interesting fact that do you anticipate with the traction control, and when you add it, is it too late? So if you want to save your tires, you need to start doing it from lap 1. It doesn't really work that from mid-race on I started saving tires. So
no.
Have a TC setting that is there from start of the race to prevent wheel spinning, to prevent overheating of the rear tires. So a little bit mixed messages there. If you already having a lot of oversteer, then increasing the traction, yes, you're trying to save something.
Oh, in the pit wall on the way in. Car in the pit wall on the way in. Sorry to interrupt, Tony. That is well buried. We think it might be Favre. So was that from the racing line, or was he coming in? So Favre, full course yellow with 10 minutes to go. Safety car comes out for the first time this season. If that's gone in from the racing line, then it will have gone in pretty quickly. Full course yellow, double yellow flags are out. The drivers will now have to drop in behind the safety car. We can take a little bit of a breather. They're out there with their communications on to raise control, and also their little tents to keep them from the sunshine. So this is going to be a full reset effectively, but it's whether or not they keep the clock running, whether they bring them in or leave them out. So lots to decide on here before we find out whether we need to be talking about who's looked after their tyres or not. Tony?
Yeah, that sector, that part of the racetrack, turn 15, 16, all the way to the last turn 17 is sort of continuous corner where you are turning all the time the wheel to the right, you're riding the curbs, you're using the track very aggressively. So let's see if something happened there, because then the car is in the pit entry from the driver's side into the wall. So also the driver to come out, he needs to use passenger door, I would say.
Okay, so we'll bring you an update just as soon as we can on, say, the car which is stuck in the entrance. It's Gray Favre, we think. Drop down the leaderboard. Actually, Washington and Perina have, as of course Perina was in the pit. He had a problem, didn't he? I don't think we saw a problem. Washington's moved up. Did something happen between Washington and Favre? Were they together on track? I can't remember. So Washington's dropped a long way down in the number 1 machine. You can see he's running in P16 overall, and he was still up, wasn't he, with the Pirelli runners earlier. So something's happened to Kyle Washington. But whatever, this race is reset, and they've got to decide what the priorities are now, the safety crews, whether they want to recover the car, how the driver is and everything else, before we can decide whether we get the track underway. Of course, one of the complications here is that car is in the pit entry. So to bring the cars into the pit entry on this occasion might not be possible, although they would be under control of the safety car with a full course yellow. Where are they? They're right at the start of the lap now. So there it is, with a lot of damage on the front. And has he managed to reverse it out and he's now getting out? It is Gray Favre. He looks okay in the car, which is good news, obviously. That's gone in fairly hard. I reckon they've towed him out with that truck, because there was a strap on the back of the truck. So they've towed him out the wall with the truck. In theory, he's in pit lane. Let's get a strap on it, drag it out of the way and go racing would be what I'd like to do. He seems okay in the car, Tony, and for us, that's the only important piece of information.
Yeah, driver was moving inside the car in a way that he has no big issues. It would be interesting to see how it all happened.
Yes.
That part of the racetrack, medium to high-speed corners, third, fourth gear. So let's see if he rode the curb too much, or was there a contact between... There's also some bumps.
There's a crest, isn't there? Yeah.
While you ride the curbs. Was there a contact between two drivers? Was it a technical issue or just a driver error? Hopefully we get a replay soon.
Yeah. So, we're looking at the front runners in Pirelli Am here. Mathez in the silver and blue at front. Jan Bernier with the familiar colours from last year, but an updated look on the car. Then Gutierrez is in the beige-coloured car, so who's that in between them? Oh, maybe is it Beckman? Was Gutierrez got past Beckman? Come back, if we can come back on that a bit and see. Bottom of your picture, it's Bernier. We're looking at the whole of the stack here. Who's behind Bernier? It's Beckman. Yeah, Beckman is there. So Beckman and Gutierrez have remained in the same order. Then Chang in the gold-coloured car, Mitchell Green behind them. This would be a good opportunity for Mitchell Green to make up some time if he could, of course, with the car stacked up. But I think at the minute he's just hanging on for the best possible points finish he can get. And you know what? A P6 in these conditions won't be too bad. That's great news. So Falver is out of the car. Gray Falver is out of the car and he's okay. We don't know what happened. Nina Jade is down there. Maybe she can find out from Gray Falver what happened. He's walking in from the far end of the pit lane, the pit entry, but he might be heading off to the medical centre, so we'll see if Nina Jade can find anything out for us.
Yeah, the driver that caused the full course yellow, the safety car is okay. So now the focus is at the restart. So who has tire life left? Did Johnny use too much tires in the beginning of the race to get the fastest lap to pull almost a 7-second lead? Now that is now zeroed, so let's see the final 5 minutes if we get back to racing.
The lights were still on the safety car, and in the background was that one of the medical cars heading out in the background? But the lights are still on the safety car, and that leads me to think unfortunately we're in for another slow lap round here, and it is a long lap as well. It's a 2-minute lap. Okay, that's why. So the car is not in a safe position where it is. It has to be recovered and pulled out of the pit road. If they can get that car on within this lap and taken away, and you can see the safety car goes a bit slower, which is to give them more time to get the job done. So this is very sensible from race control.
Exactly. So the race control is always in contact with the safety car and telling the advice either speed up or slow down. And in this case, like you mentioned, it's better to slow down, give to the marshals more time, and get the car away from the pit entry, and maybe even on this lap, if we decide early enough, we can switch off the safety car lights and get back to racing.
Yeah, could be a whole lap before we get there, I think, but we'll see. So Bernier on for a great result on his first time in Pirelli Am. Both Mathes and Kaminsky with the fastest laps. And I think they'll be pleased with that, to have put the fastest lap in, with you having got the pole. It's kind of proof of the pudding, if you will. Even on the worn tyres, they're still able to do those fast lap times. Nice stuff. So a bit of weaving now. Tony, what's the score here? I mean, obviously it's hot. How much do you need to be weaving to keep the temps up? Is it a psychological thing?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of weaving. There might be even chance of sometimes doing a driver error if you do it too much. I think there's been some studies done that the actual heat onto the tires you can create from brakes, from rotors, so using brake more aggressively than normal, trying to build the heat for the brake disc, and then it puts through the wheel to the tire, and stay on the racing line. Don't go off the line and collect the pickup rubber that is very difficult to clean from your tires. But even at this speed, drivers do feel their race car. They know where they're at grip-wise and how to react at the race start.
This is going to be a brilliant sprint finish to this. I reckon if we're lucky, we'll get 2 laps in, because the lights are out on the safety car. So we've got 3:20 to go, but they've still got the whole of the back section of the track. We know a lap time is roughly 2 minutes. So if they cross the line in the next minute, which I'm pretty, the safety car's now getting a proper wiggle on because he knows what's at stake, that truck with the recovery of Falver's car will be moving out of pit lane. And now it's up to Kaminsky to get things underway. So Kaminsky versus Franco in Trofeo Pirelli. Mathes versus Bernier. Bottom of your picture now, blue and silver car. And Jan Bernier in the orange and blue car. They're getting backed up because they know the safety car is going to spoil their line onto the straight.
Yeah, now Johnny is controlling the pace, and he can decide when and where to accelerate. And this is definitely a chance for P2 driver Manny Franco to try to get the victory. So Johnny needs to be really careful at this restart.
I wonder if he'll go early, and he does. So Kaminski goes flat out then. We've got 2 minutes 23 left, so we are going to race for 2 more laps until the checkered flag here of round 1 of Ferrari Challenge North America. Franco weaving in the background, trying to apply the pressure out front to Kaminski, who's looking for his first ever win in the background. A move up the inside. I think it's Favre on Cook, is it? I'm looking to see Bernier as well. Bernier looks up the inside line of Mathes. So Mathes and Bernier hold position where they were. Out as Gutierrez, I think, out onto the dirt on the outside line. Cook is looking for a way back through now, slides up the inside line here. Tries to use passing. That is Washington who is passing. And we're hearing this is the final lap. So race controller put the checkered flag out. This will be the final lap. That's good news for Kaminski. Under a little bit of pressure at the start, but nicely away. And Franco, despite the weaving, Franco gets closer to the apex. Kaminski, though, with a later touch, and will maybe get more speed down the straight. So these two fight for the overall win, but it was closer between Mathes and Bernier in the background. Look for the leaders of Trofeo Pirelli. And where are they? Has Bernier got through? Has Bernier got through in the background? I think he has. I think he has. It was the blue and silver car, wasn't it, of Mathes? Mathes has dropped back. There's contact. Mitchell Green goes up the inside of Bernier. So something's happened with our leaders here. Mathes in the number 5 car has dropped back. Bernier's dropped back as well. Esteban Beckman may have gone through. This is an absolute disaster. These two were miles out front. Something's happened on the restart. Bernier has dropped back. Mitchell Green, his rival from last year, has gone through. Him and Mathes are way back in the pack now. That's Matthew DL behind them. Hopkins in there too. Bernier now with smoke pouring off the rear right of the car, so heavy damage on the car. DL looks for a way through, going to come past Mathes, going to try and get past as well on Bernier. Bernier was looking for an amazing first result. He's getting swallowed up by the pack here. He's doing his best to hold, and DL can't find a way through. Squeezes Vencelavas on the inside. Hopkins now up the inside of Vencelavas. Almost contact between them. DL goes deep. Hopkins up the inside of Vencelavas. Out front, though, it's much calmer business for Johnny Kaminski. He's going to come through the final corner and take his first ever win here at the Thermal Club. The 17-year-old, maybe a record-breaking win, maybe the youngest ever winner in Ferrari Challenge anywhere in the world. Franco gets P2, Favre gets P3 as well. Beckman takes the win from Chang and Gutierrez, so it's Esteban Beckman who gets it. Mitchell Green ends up in 4th with a damaged car. Where do the others end up? Bernier and Mathes were P1 and P2, and they're down. They're still falling down the order now. What drama on the final lap restart here of round 1 of Ferrari Challenge 2026 in North America. Wow.
Yeah, we have a saying that safety cars do bring safety cars, but in this occasion, for the last lap, this safety car brought some serious action, especially in the Pirelli AM category. Jan Bernier, Mr. Consistency last year, but in this occasion...
Got a feel for him.
Yeah.
Although
exactly.
we don't know what happened. You know, was it Bernier's move that kicked it off, or did someone else get them? We just don't know. What about this kid, though? Johnny Kaminski, freaky fast written on the side of the car. Took a pole a couple of times last year, couldn't convert it. This time he's done it. Pole, fastest lap, and the win. What a drive by Kaminski here at round 1, and he's 17 years old. He's still in school.
But it's very impressive in this sport, and may come as a surprise for some, but also in off-season there might be big growth on the mental side. That you just click a few things that the driver even doesn't recognize. People around you do realize that. Engineer, father
I was
of the
going to
team.
say father, yeah, Brian will be here, won't he?
Of the team. They know that now we are in a better place. If last year we had great performance, this year we might have dominance. So just a great day for Johnny Kaminski and his team and his family. So P1, great practice sessions, P1 in qualifying, and a dominant start of the race, and very well executed at the restart after the safety car.
In the number 77 there is Esteban Beckman, the eventual winner of Pirelli AM. Where did Beckman qualify? He was 4th on the grid. Have a look back and see his results from last year, if I can get my notes up quickly enough. So Beckman had a P4 and a P7. That might be Esteban Beckman's first win, but I don't know how long he's been, if he's been in any of the other series. But here we go. Trofeo Pirelli, race 1 of 2026. Johnny Kaminski converts the pole to the win. Manny Franco P2, Brad Favre P3, Brian Cook, George Grinzovic up to 5th, and Jonathan Weisman takes 6th place. Then you've got Esteban Beckman, the winner of Trofeo Pirelli AM, followed by Frank Chang with a great P2 there. P3, Kevin Gutierrez. Mitchell Green with a damaged car, we think, getting 4th in class, 10th overall. Matthew Deal, Gregory Hopkins. Jan Bernier held on for P5 in the class, I think. But no, P7. Gerdas Venceslas, then Michael Mathes, who was leading until that final lap, ends up 15th and way down in class, unfortunately. Kyle Washington, Gray Falva, Roberto Perina, Michael Porter, Martin Burrows and David Bitton. Most of those drivers DNFs with incidents through the race. Quite the opener.
Yeah, a lot of action. We see on the left side Roberto Perina's car, so he had a great start for the race, being P2 overall, and then a technical issue slowed him down. Mitchell Green, quite lively at the start of the race. Looked like he either had contact on the opening lap that damaged his car a bit. The setup or the handling of his car looked quite demanding, and Mitchell Green didn't have a solid performance like he usually does. Jan Bernier was showing a great performance coming up from last year's category to this year's Pirelli Am, and then on the last lap everything just changed.
We don't know what happened, do we? We don't know. I'm not sure if we have a replay or not. If we don't, we'll try and find out what happened. It's with so many cars. Obviously, we follow the lead battle, and the battle for Pirelli Am was slightly further down. There is the stunning backdrop here, the beautifully built and laid out thermal club. And here is Kaminsky coming in with the Freaky Fast logo down the side. He will be so stoked. I'm absolutely sure of that. This is mission accomplished. Takes the belts off, climbs out the car. Yes, job done, Kaminsky. Smashed it from the start. There's his dad, Brian Kaminsky. Look what it means between them. He said he'd worked hard in the off-season. He said he was still doing his studying while he was working on his race driving career. And this is a big step today. 2 pole positions last year, another pole here at round 1, and this time he converts it. Brilliant, brilliant job by Johnny Kaminsky. Smashed them in the race. He was 7 seconds up the road with the restart. Managed to hold on again, Tony. That's a lot of pressure with the restart and everything. That will have been not what he wanted at the end of the race, and he still got it done. It's a great drive.
Yeah, for sure. He had a great race car underneath him, but I don't think the car has really changed that much from last year. It's just the driver.
I agree.
This young man that has changed. So he's more ready. He's hungry. He's more ready. He has the skill. Now he knows. Obviously, from last year, he already knew how to get pole position, but now he knows how to win these races. So another step on his career.
Freaky Fast, got it done. Nina Jade Paul is down there now. She's going to grab Johnny, and let's have a catch up with him. His first ever race win, maybe the youngest race winner ever in Ferrari Challenge.
Johnny Kaminsky, P1, pole position, and now a win, your first ever win. Talk us through how you're feeling.
I feel so good. I mean, I worked just so hard over the off season, and to finally get this, it just feels so good. And just, you know, like I said, I came up short many times in the season, and I learned a lot, and I took my strengths and took my weaknesses, and I really, you know, analyzed the way I felt going to the off season and say, how can I get better? And I took a lot of sacrifice. I did a lot of sim prep, a lot of physical work, and yeah, it feels so good. I mean, I just worked so hard, and I have an incredible team behind me and great supporters around me, so it feels so good.
You can really see that work pay off on track as well. You seem like a different machine this year. How are you feeling about the championship?
Yeah, I feel really good about it, and the championship's definitely my main goal. And yeah, I just felt so good physically in the car, and I can't thank Jimmy John's enough. And honestly, the last 2 laps when we went safety car, I was like, I can really use a Jimmy John sandwich right now because I'm hungry. So no, it was really good. And yeah, I just can't thank Jimmy John's enough. Niebuhr, BAE, my dad, my mom, my family, and the team that supports me the most, 111. So yeah.
Freaky Fast, Johnny Kaminsky, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes, P1, baby, job done. Absolutely fantastic. There to take the plaudits with the cameras as well. Our stats team's looked into it. We think he's the second youngest winner ever because we think a 16-year-old won in Europe before. So last year, if he got it done, he would have been. But he's definitely the youngest winner ever in Ferrari Challenge North America. Brilliant job by him. Kaminsky takes the win. And this is the championship standing. So 37 points to him. He's 5 points up on Manny Franco and Brad Falva. Then it's Cook, Krinsvich, Weisman, Washington, and Gray. Falva down into P8. You've got Roberto Perina and David Bitton, who was a DNS, unfortunately. But remember, this is round 1. We've got 12 races in America and then 2 over in Italy. I don't think you need to be worrying too much about the championship standings right now, but it is a good way to kick things off. Now, that's how to have a house party. That's my kind of house party.
Great view over the racetrack. And also going to Johnny Kaminsky, this is what Ferrari loves. We have a certain status with our Ferrari Challenge, but Johnny is there to prove that Ferrari Challenge is also a ladder for young drivers. It's not only about the single-seaters. There's many other opportunities in motorsport, and sometimes young drivers are really stubborn and get stuck with that single-seater dream, and then the dream ends. Here, there is several possibilities, all the way to the 499 Le Mans car.
Absolutely.
So being in a Ferrari family, Johnny is doing the best possible promotion for him. And I think in Maranello and here in FNA, Ferrari North America, his name is already on many pages with the big letters. So great stuff.
Yeah, good start by him. Great drive by this guy as well. Esteban Beckman is down in the winner's enclosure, and Nina J. Paul's going to grab him for a chat now. The winner of Pirelli Am here at round 1.
Esteban, P1 at Thermal. You said it was brutal out there, but talk us through how you're feeling.
I feel, I don't know yet. I'm very, very happy. You know, I worked hard for this. I've been trying to get it, but also my teammates, you know, there was a bit of a contact there. So I'm a bit concerned. I wish we could have all ended up in the podium, you know. But great job to them and the team and everyone, my dad, and, you know, it's great. It's great. Hopefully the first of many, you know. So.
Absolutely. Big thumbs up from Dad as well. And how are you feeling? This must give you confidence for tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is a big confidence boost, especially because last season, the 2 races that I did, I made a lot of mistakes. So this really helps me to get my confidence back and maybe keep going and winning.
Big congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Esteban Beckman very happy with the win, but a little nod there from him towards the contact that ensued out there, which we still don't know quite what happened. So we'll try and find out. But there we go. Race 1 done and dusted. Good job in Pirelli Am there. Esteban Beckman taking the win, and with it the championship lead by only 3 points from Frank Chang. Then Kevin Gutierrez, Mitchell Green in P4. Not bad when you consider at one point he was dropping down the order. Matthew Diel, Gregory Hopkins, Jan Bernier gets P7. Michael Mathes gets P8. Those guys were in P1 and P2 with just a lap to go. What went on? What went wrong? Venceslas, Porter and Burrows round out our top 11 for Pirelli Am. Great stuff. Sun beating down on the Thermal Club. We're going to get ourselves ready for the Copper Shell race. There's some people up there on the roof enjoying the view. I suspect a few others will have dived off into the air conditioning just for a little while. We're going to get ourselves reset and ready for Copper Shells. We've got Copper Shell and Copper Shell Am coming up very shortly indeed, so stay with us. We'll get the grid ready and we'll get some racing underway very shortly. See you soon. Welcome back to the Thermal Club in California, USA. We're here for the first weekend of racing for Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. We've just seen a great encounter from Trofeo Pirelli, and we've now got Copper Shell coming up. It's all about the ladder up through Corsa Pilota and onto racing here with Ferrari Challenge. We'll run you through the details once we get into the racing. Thermal for round 1, California. Sebring in Florida for round 2. COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, round 3. Laguna Seca and Sonoma for 4 and 5 back over here in California, and then Road America for the final weekend in September in America. Those drivers who are in championship contention will then head over to the Finale Mondiali in Italy, where they'll meet all the other drivers from all the various Ferrari challenges around the world and pick up their trophies at the end of the season. Track here at Thermal is a tricky one. We've seen high tyre degradation due to the temperatures here, and drivers have got to manage that as best they can. And you can see there, turn 1, a left-hander, then we've got right-handers and a complicated section with a long straight through the 3 carousels, then 10 through 14, followed by the 3 right-handers onto the straight 17. We saw a driver off on 17, Falvera last time, hit the wall on the inside there. This is the crests and the fast sections up at the back of the track. It's a great layout. It's quite a long lap. It's 2 minutes to get a lap done. Okay, now we're talking. It was saying, yeah, look at the track temperatures now. This is 7 degrees hotter than it was in theory for the Pirelli race, although I think it might have been pretty warm anyway. 33 for the air temperature. We didn't see anybody really struggling with tyres, but we did see the car start to move around in the middle of the race.
That is true. Mid-race towards the end, there was more movement at high-speed corners. Some more sideways coming out of the hairpins, the 180-degree corners, turn 1, turn 6. So you could see a little bit less traction, and drivers had to work a little bit more. But everything went more or less as expected.
It did indeed. Down there in pit lane, you can see Nina Jade Paul with the microphone ready to go. Let's go down and have a chat with her.
Yeah, absolutely. What a brilliant Pirelli race that was. As you said, we didn't see too many people struggle with tyres, but what I will say, speaking to a few of the drivers, they all looked exhausted. It's extremely hot in these cars, and I think exhaustion and just being fatigued and overly hot is playing a big, big part in this. But we had some good racing for a track that's tricky to overtake on. We had quite a few overtakes, some drama as well. I expect the Shell race will be more of the same. We have a very special driver on the grid today, Hollywood actor Nicholas Hoult. Andrew, you've mentioned him a few times. He's been with the Ferrari family quite a few years, and this tells you a little bit more about his story.
The journey's been incredible. It's been 5.5 years since I did my first Corsa Pilota here at this track, so it's a big step up this weekend. I'm so excited to finally be in the race. It's such an infectious energy to be at the track, and being here on these weekends, I've watched so many of the races, and that start, side by side, rolling start, it just feels, I'm terrified to be part of it, but I'm also just, it's really a dream come true. Everyone who's part of Ferrari, now feels like family every time I come back to the pits and hang out in the paddock. It's like I know so many people from all these years, and the cars are just, they sound incredible, they're beautiful to drive, and it's a lot of fun. The adrenaline rush in this is way more intense. Sometimes when you're doing those big action movies, there's a lot of focus and attention to detail, but also I just feel comfortable in that environment, I suppose. This environment, I'm out from my comfort zone, trying to listen to all the inputs from everyone. You have a wonderful team supporting you, but there's also an element of there's real danger, and it's just a lot to comprehend and take in. But also sometimes I'm like, if I just fake it like I do on set, then maybe that'll be all right.
Nice to hear from Nicholas Hoult about his feelings about coming here and becoming a racing driver. We think these actors play so many different parts, don't they? But this isn't playing. This is different, and there's real risk. It's a very different thing than a carefully planned stunt and all the rest of it. But he was flying in quality this morning, going really well.
Yeah, I really like Nicholas's approach. First of all, he listens, not the case with all the drivers.
No.
And he wants advice. We discussed last year in Watkins about right foot and left foot braking. What were my thoughts? He had his own idea. Some people were telling him something else, and he said thanks, because we shared the same opinion. And again, today in qualifying, I think he had even more pace. In Chelam, he's starting P4.
Yeah.
But he lost a couple of laps at the crucial moment running into traffic. And he said, we spotted the right way. He tried to leave the gap, but he was regaining on the other driver again and faster than he thought. Now the next thing is at the start, it's going to be his first ever race start. I said, stay calm, be ready for everything. Remember the basics. Go down with the gears. Remember the brake. Leave a little bit of gap. Start with the idea of doing the whole race distance. That's where you enjoy the most. Some of the drivers switch off their brain a little bit at the race. So try to be aware of every situation during the race, and you will enjoy it the most. Right now he's planning to do this race weekend, and it's great to see a personality like Nicholas Holt on our Ferrari Challenge grid. And what a great story. Coming through Corso Pilota, building up the experience. I've seen him doing the club challenge where you have timed sessions but no racing against other drivers. And now this is the final result, the final product where he's racing among the other drivers. Just a great story.
Yeah, really cool. A little bit of last minute work going on here, look, on Louis Fleury's car on the front right. Is that the tape they've got out? Now, any good racing driver or race team, any rally team will know, Tony, you can fix anything with tape and tie wraps. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. Especially with the long distance races.
Yes.
If you have contacts, you sometimes see the cars looking very different compared to the start of the race when you get to the checkered flag. And it's not about beauty or the graphics anymore. It's about getting things done and getting to the end of the race.
I always think it's funny, isn't it? You know, these cars spend so much time in the wind tunnel, having everything finessed to the last possible detail to be perfect. And as you say, you're halfway through a 24-hour race and something gets ripped off, and they're like, "We'll live with it. It's fine."
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes you see also purple sectors.
Yeah, and then you think, right, what did we spend all that money in the wind tunnel for?
So then what we drivers want after the race is a set down. Give us the setup how it was in the end of the race. Don't just take it apart. And there is some cool stories. Daytona 24, running over the bus stop curb. You break the diffuser as the car is homologated, and then with the broken diffuser, the car goes faster. And you end up doing 20 hours with the broken diffuser, and you gain 10 kph.
Really?
So there is tricks among us race car drivers, even manufacturers, and there is some cool stories.
Famous speedway rider Tony Rickardson, of course speedway they have over here as well, dirt flat track over here, isn't it? It's called, and he had a favourite bike, so he sent it to Penske, the IndyCar team, and said, can you find out why this is my favourite bike? It's one that I've crashed. And it had a slight tweak in the front fork, so the front wheel was not quite in line with the rear wheel. So they then created a series of inserts you could put in the top of the handlebar to change the offset of the front wheel.
There you go.
He was unbeatable for a couple of seasons, and it was all hidden underneath one of those pads on the handlebar. And I love that. Those discoveries are fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah, once it happened to me. You remember Maserati MC12, the GT1 car, very, very beautiful car as well. So I was racing in Italy and had a crash in the race. Things got a little bit heated between me and the other driver, and the team didn't have much time to fix it. What happened is just putting the car together. In the race 2, I did the fastest lap of the race, and I was lapping faster than in qualifying. So what happened is there was a recommendation for the rear toe to have a 10 mil rear toe, and I did the race at the rear toe 0. So from there on with the MC12, I ran.
You ran 0.
And I went to the World Championship race, and I was leading.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Those are the stories inside the racing.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, here we go then. Time to get Copper Shell underway. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines. Okay, we're good to go down there. You can see they're getting the thumbs up. The foil is coming off the screens. The umbrellas are going away. This, of course, is a one-make series, so despite me and Tony getting very excited about the various different things that have happened in the history of motorsport, of course, you might get away with it at the end of the race if something on the car's not quite right, but it'll have to be fixed before they head to scrutineering for the next time. All these cars exactly the same. Tony, what are the parameters they can change? Obviously, there's some things like traction control, but there's also some setup things.
Yeah, there is setup things, anti-roll bars, springs, rear wing angle, how you set up the car, pitch of the car, so the front ride height compared to the rear. Obviously, the rules give the teams and the drivers the parameters where to stay in, but then you can change according to the rules. Tire pressures, camber. Nowadays there's often a minimum or maximum requirements for a lot of different setup changes, and then it's up to you and the driver to decide where you want to run your race car.
So these guys will all have slightly different settings on the cars. Of course, in Copper Shell, it's just as much for these guys as they continue to learn, and girls as well. We've got some fantastic female racers in this category. Melissa Kozira coming up in P3, and Shell Am, she's in this one, in the lineup you're looking at now. In fact, that's her on the right-hand side. So the blue, white and black car, Melissa Kozira, who won the last 2 rounds of Shell Am last year over at Trofeo Pirelli. But a lot of these drivers, it's as much about the consistency as it is dialing the car in for the last 1/10 of a second. You'll see the Pirelli runners trying everything to try and get that little bit done. Okay, here we go then. It's our second race of the season, but it's the first outing for these guys, Copper Shell and Copper Shell Am. The Copper Shell Am drivers take to the track here at the Thermal Club for round 1 of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026, and this is the grid. Mike Chen just getting ahead of Gary Ott. You can see it was by hundreds. Chen was smooth, Ott was aggressive. Can't wait to see what happens in turn 1. Chuck Whittle and Kevin Orsini on row 2. Row 3, Brian Waltersdorf and Brad Evans. On to row 4, it's Ryan Dayton, new name for the series, and Javier Rodriguez Borgio. Row 5, Lewis Flory and Joel Rose. And then Andrew Parker and Michael Moyes on row 6. Row 7, Michael Owens and Glenn Moss. And it's Blake Rosser and Melissa Kozira, so we're down into the Copper Shell Am drivers now. Nicholas Holt there, the Hollywood actor, doing a great job in qualifying to get himself up into, I think it was P4. John Lennon and Daniel Roberts. Row 11 is Jeffrey Nunberg and Lance Corley. Row 12, Ed Vartugian and Jamie Garrett. Steve Check and Darren Bernstein make up row 13. Row 14 is Luis Peruska and Henry Hummel. Joe Sposato and Jesus Mendoza for row 15. Row 16, Bernard Gomez and Jeffrey Keel. And then row 17, Tim Dweet. So, that's your lineup. Said good job by our Hollywood friend to put the car as far up the grid as he did. I think very impressive for Nicholas Holt to be 4th in Copper Shell Am. It's Melissa Kozira that's alongside him on his row. Fabian Sperman and John Lennon behind. What are you looking at?
Yeah, also note on Michael Owens. He was fighting for the overall pole, but he crashed at turn 13. And he has to start P13 now, so last in Shell, also with the spare car. So they couldn't fix the car. He's okay, he's cleared to race. He had a high speed off, and let's see his progress in the race. Like I said, he was fighting for the pole.
Need to figure out what livery he's running as well, of course. He's at the back of this pack, isn't he? Because it's likely something different than he was running during qualifying. So side by side on the front row, Gary Ott is in the yellow and red, and the blue indicators on Mike Chen's car. So Mike will have the inside line, remember, when they get down to turn 1. Chuck Whittle behind with the multicoloured. Gary Ott's in front here, needs to drop back, doesn't he?
Yeah, my eyes are on Gary Ott. He's going to be aggressive at the start.
Here we go.
Side.
So Mike Chen with the pole, Gary Ott alongside. Chen gets away first. Gary Ott tries to move in on the inside. Chuck Whittle is trying to get up the inside of him. Whittle goes late on the brakes. It's a good move by Chuck Whittle straight into P2. Nobody gets collected in the first corner. Chuck Whittle into second place. Gary Ott loses one more position as well. So Ott's dropped down into P4. I think it might be Michael Owens that's got through. No, Michael Owens is further down the grid, isn't he? So he's showing in 4th on the grid, but should have started further down the pack. So yeah, 3 positions lost. Back now then to our Shell Am runners on the left-hand side in the all-red car, the number 100, Nicholas Holt. Late on the brakes, there's a pack of cars up the inside. He comes across to his racing line and a car spins in front of him. Holt does well, avoids it on the inside line. 3 cars there with contact. I think they're all going to get away again. Holt looks like he's down in P5 or P6, 2 identical colour cars. Front right corner off the car in P4. You think Holt, look, is that Holt up? Oh, and a big off at the end of the straight. So someone's off at the end of the straight. Jeffrey Nunberg with a lovely drift to keep the car out of the gravel. Got on the throttle in time, but is now going to try and get back into a queue of cars as he comes through. So Jeffrey Nunberg drops right down the order. He qualified in P8 and has dropped away. And is that Holt in P2? No. I'm not sure. No, it's not. It's not. So up the inside.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, Tony. I'm not sure at all. with the eyesight I've got, I'm not sure at all. But slotting up the inside line now
colours.
is very similar colours. This is the problem with red Ferraris. 113 is Rosser. So Rosser takes the lead there. I think Holt is in P4 or P5, but with only one timing, Luke, we won't find out until he comes around to the finish line. So we'll see about that. So yes, the 113 leading. Great job by Rosser. Not a name I'm familiar with from last year, so I'm assuming new to the series and would love to take the win. Look at Whittle's car, it's absolutely stunning. So Whittle is in behind our pole man, and we'll be trying to find a way through, I am sure. The pole man, of course, Mike Chen. Gary Ott has dropped down to P4. So as they come over the line now then, yes, it's Chen, then Whittle, then it's the 111 car, Brian Waltersdorf in the white and blue, who's made his way so far. So Waltersdorf did well. He started P6 and got himself up to P3 on the first lap. Gary Ott now with a bit of pressure from Orsini behind in the black car with the Italian flag up the middle. And you can see Waltersdorf moves up 2, Gary Ott down 2. So Gary Ott now has got to get aggressive. He wants to make some passes at the start of this race, but he's under pressure himself from Orsini behind.
Yeah, Gary Ott took it easy at the start. He's running a very different racing line, mid to exit at turn 1. He did a mistake. He touched the inside curb and almost ran off the track. So also at turn 1, he's running a very wide. He lost a lot of place.
Orsini makes the pass up the inside there. He shut the door on him hard, didn't he? And Orsini still jinked through, and Ott's about to lose another place here as well. Moving across, trying to cover here. He holds the inside line, but is he going to be passed at the end of the straight again? So just got to tidy things up a little bit, Tony.
Yeah, everything happened because he touched the inside curb too much and lost the racing line momentum at the exit of the corner. But also at turn 1, Gary is running a very wide racing line, mid to exit. So he's having to refine his lines a little bit. And he took the start very carefully, lost 1 or 2 places.
Yeah. And that's what he said last year, if you remember. He wasn't happy with his starts, and was it Whittle, I think, who dived up the inside in turn 1? Lovely dive from a long way back. So what are the gaps like at the front? Nicholas Holt has dropped down into P5. We said 4th or 5th, didn't we? So he's done okay, I think, considering he was out wide at the start and there was a gaggle of cars inside him. Bit of contact, did well to avoid the damage, I think.
Exactly, he did really well to open his racing line and to avoid the damage at turn 1.
Yeah, we were on board with him there just for a moment. Gomez has moved up 7 places, look, absolutely incredible. So Gomez up 7 places. Bernard Gomez qualified in 18th and has moved up into, I think, P9 in the category. Says P11 on, yes, sorry, P11, yes, so up 9 spots. Nicholas Holt 5th. So over the line now, your leaders. Mike Chen, Chuck Whittle, P3, Waltersdorf. Who's coming to the pits?
I don't know if it's from the previous start or somebody involved
with the contact earlier on in this race.
Yeah.
So Orsini with the black and white coloured car. Then you've got Gary Ott. It's Evans here who's having to defend. I think Evans, when we saw the car up close, there's a kind of a camo look to it. Borgio is in behind him and Lewis Flory with the blue wheels. Lewis did well last year, had a couple of offs at the end of the season, or maybe spins I think it was, at Laguna Seca. If you remember, we called him Louis. Well, I called him Louis for half the season until I was pulled up by his family, who thought it was absolutely hilarious that we were calling him Louis because of the spelling of it. It's spelt the traditional, there you go, on the graphic you can see the traditional French phrase, I'm Louis. And in the end we said, I'll tell you what, if you get a better result when I call you Louis, you can keep Louis, otherwise we'll keep Louis. And he got a good result, so he is officially Louis. Nice guy, good bloke. We're on board with Lewis Flory now. Late on the brakes. This is one of those big committed braking zones where you want to get in nice and tight and then smoothly on the throttle on the exit to try and get away. So Chen has the fastest lap with a 2:04.1 in the Shell category. We'll see who's got it in the Shell Am category in a minute. Here he is. He's checking out a little bit here. So he's 1.4 up the road from Whittle. His fast lap is what is it? Yeah, 7 tenths ahead, and that's both their last lap. So he's gone 7 tenths quicker on what must be lap 2 of the race.
Race leader Chen is very good over the fast speed S's. He has a very good racing line in qualifying and repeating those same lines here in the race.
You were impressed, weren't you, with his smoothness through there? Not a lack of attack, but just rhythm.
Yes, rhythm, and he can continue to repeat the same racing lines lap after lap. So very, very impressive.
Consistency is hard.
Michael Owen struggling with his new car, lapping 3 seconds lower than the leaders in Coppa Shell. Maybe it took a little bit of confidence out having that mistake in qualifying.
It was a big crash.
It was a big one.
It was a big crash. He went into the barrier very hard. Also, Tony, arguably the team wouldn't have had enough time necessarily. They've had to rent another car, I think you said, didn't you?
Yes.
So that have they got it from another team?
Yeah.
Have they had to swap the seat?
Yeah,
have they put the settings on the car?
That's a good point. Also to refine the setup, everything to get to his preference. So it's good to have him on the grid and at the race start, but yeah, might not be perfect for him today.
Melissa Kozira running in third at the moment. I say won the last 2 rounds of last year, which was impressive considering it was in Italy. Was it Mugello? I think was the finale. Yeah, so look, won the 2 rounds at Mugello. Behind her is John Lennon, who's carrying the damage to the front corner of the car. You're looking at Fabian Sperman there, who's in P2, and Sperman has the fastest lap. So Fabian Sperman with a 204.7, is it? No, 204.6. Yeah, there's only a tenth in it. So Rossa out front has got a lap time which is a tenth of a second quicker. But you're looking at Sperman here trying to chase him. The gap between them isn't a lot. It's 1.9 at the moment. That's our 2 leaders on screen. And don't count out Kozira, as I say, with the results. She must be carrying a lot of confidence with 2 wins in Italy at the end of the season.
And also with our Shell and Shell Am drivers, these 30 minutes is going to be a big physical task. So there will be changes between the drivers in performance, in their physical shape, and how well they are able to lap. How are their lap times towards the end of the race? So there might be changes of places still before the checkered flag.
For sure. Not only their fitness, of course, the fitness of the cars, or majority the fitness of the tyres, isn't it? And we might see people using them a bit more aggressively here. That is the 144, who is, as Robert, having a look at Mendoza, I think. Looking at the timing screen. Streams of cars with identical liveries. Red Ferraris are hard enough. When you stick a white stripe down them as well, that makes it pretty tough on us here in the announcing booth. I think that's Gomez and Spasato. Hummel in the mix as well, so those 3 cars circulating together. There is a bit more of it. Oh, up the inside line over the curbs, pops it nicely, and good awareness as well from both drivers to give each other space. Mendoza it was. Up towards the final couple of corners here, you can see that's the curb which I think gets used the most. This is the corner we were saying there's the crest in. So as you come through here, you come over a crest onto the start finish line. There it is. And we were wondering if that was where in the previous encounter Favre had a problem with the crest maybe and ended up in on the inside line, ended up actually hitting the end of the pit wall. Dweet and Hummel over the line, Spasato and Roberts as well. You can see the positions changing as they trigger the loop. Gap out front is 1.4 between Mike Chen and Chuck Whittle. Ryan Woltersdorf is a further 2.5 back. Kevin Orsini only 0.6 off the back of Woltersdorf, so that could be interesting. Borgio and Ott also quite close together. Ott just in front of Borgio now, but 1.6 off the back of Orsini. Gary Ott's capable of a good old push late in the race as well. So this is, I mean, the top, I think it's worth noting here, the top 7 are only separated by 7.6 seconds. So it's very close between the top 7 overall. And looking at Shellam, which you're looking at now, it is from Rossa down, what do we got? 5.5. Nicholas Holt is 5. No, that's the gap. Yeah, Nicholas Holt's 5.5 at the back of Lennon. But he's doing well.
Yeah, last lap, Nicholas Holt, 206.2, his personal best. He's around 1 second from the fastest drivers of his category, so very good performance from him. We see him here
with Peruskia behind, yeah. Brewski is closing in a bit. Yeah, the number 100. Nice to see our star drivers get a star number that we can keep an eye on them with. This is Chen and Whittle. I think Whittle's half the gap. So Whittle's brought the gap down. It was 1.4 on the previous lap, and he's got it down to 0.7. How much quicker was it? Yeah, and he's done it on that last lap. All on that last lap, the gap's come down. Good job by Chuck Whittle. So he's now making a bit of a bid for the lead, and Chen will know. He'll be able to see him in the mirrors, especially with that livery that Chuck Whittle's running.
Yeah, and we are 18 minutes, a little bit less than 19 minutes still to the checkered flag. So here we have the difference. Qualifying 1 or 2 laps is a completely different story, and here you need to have the endurance as well.
In the background, you've got Lewis Flory battling with Evans, then you've got Borgio and Otter together, and Orsini and Waltersdorf. So the top 8 are in 4 two-way battles. It's great racing at the front of Copper Shell. There you go, you can see the next 2 pairs coming through in the background. These are the leaders. I think that's less than 0.7 now. For me, Whittle is on a bit of a push. Here's Waltersdorf with Orsini trying to find a way through, and that might be allowing Gary Ott and Javier Borgio to catch up to the back of them. Behind them, Evans and Flory. Oh, I look into the inside line. Orsini's trying to find a way through. He's got to be brave to hold on through there. This is the quick section where we saw the big off earlier on today. Gary Ott will be keeping an eye on these 2 cars in front. If they get stuck into each other, it could allow them to close that gap down just a little bit. Chen and Whittle, though, what's the gap between there? Yeah, 4.4. So Chen and Whittle are a little way up the road. These 2 have got a bit of space between them. Don't forget what happened in the last race, though. We had the safety car that put everyone together, and then it was all carnage after the safety car was in. So what's the gap this time? It was 0.7. Is it going to be closer as they come onto the start-finish straight? 0.8. Look closer to me at 1 point on the lap.
Yeah, Whittle is definitely putting pressure, and also the fact that we are closing the half distance of the race. You see these groups forming together, and this is where the tension gets a bit higher. Also with the tire wear, you need to adapt your driving style a bit. You're not able to do the fastest laps of your race anymore, but you need to adapt and also have the confidence.
Orsini having a look up the inside of Waltersdorf here. Waltersdorf hasn't seen him. Contact between them just a little bit. They spin to the inside. Gary Ott avoids him. Up the inside of Gary Ott goes Borgio, but Ott holds on. So that was the contact on the way in. That was silly, I think, when they had so much space there between them. And Waltersdorf now then, with Gary Ott behind him, Orsini gone. So Ott will have the bit between his teeth and will try and catch up to them.
Yeah, Orsini was really close to even running in the back of the other car. He had a very... he was all the way far right, and it was really difficult to do the next corner of the racing line he chose, and then by avoiding the car ahead, and then he ended up spinning on his own.
Yeah, and there was a tiny nudge, wasn't there, on the way in? What's happened in the background?
Yeah, somebody was really wide on the far right, came back from all the way here.
Onto the inside line.
Yes. Now I think it's the time of the race when things start to happen now.
This is Rosser and Spearman, the leaders of Shallam, who are coming through. Spearman with that fastest lap, but out front, to say, the battle going nicely as well. Ott is still, I'm just looking at our intervals, and it is very close between those drivers in P2, 3 and 4, I think it is. No, 3, 4 and 5. Whittle and Chen are down the road a little bit. But Rosser and Spearman, that wasn't over. I thought it wasn't over, but suddenly Rosser has managed to get a little bit of a gap. And this is Gary Ott again. So Ott with Borgio behind. There's Whittle in P2 and Chen out front. Popping the curb big time on the inside for Waltersdorf. So Gary Ott now with Javier Borgio behind, and Lewis Flory is in the mix as well. Late on the... look at the rear wing. So the rear wing has collapsed on the outside, so there's been contact there at some point for Javier Borgio, and the rear wing is damaged.
Yeah, he touched the rear wing of Orsini when he spun. So avoiding the car from behind Orsini's car, the end plate of his rear wing touched him, and this is going to affect everything.
Waltersdorf ran deep. Gary Ott looked up the inside line. Borgio still trying to find a way through, even with that damaged rear wing. He's all over the back of Gary Ott now. Waltersdorf as well on a bit of a go slow. Maybe lost the confidence after he's run deep there at the apex of the previous corner. I wonder if there's a bit less downforce on Borgio's car. He seems to have great speed on the straights, almost into the back of Gary Ott, sorry. Waltersdorf here, I don't know if you know how much is going on behind him. So is he going to make a move? Javier Borgio with the rear wing broken on the car, looks to the inside line of Gary Ott. He's going to have to be really late on the brakes. Ott closes the door and there's contact between them. Ott runs deep, Borgio up the inside line. Ott pulls back to that curb now on the left-hand side of the road. Lewis Flory there. Ott accelerates towards the apex on the inside. But Borgio gets the position after a little bit of contact between them. Tony Villander's got his teeth gritted.
Yeah, things are heating up here. We have 14 minutes to go and a lot of action and a lot of these small groups fighting each other. So one car definitely missing half of the rear wing.
How much will that be affecting Borgio? Will he feel that or not?
Yeah, for sure. At the high-speed S's, he will feel it. He will feel under heavy braking zones. He will feel something weird on the rear, and the rear of the car is more loose.
So you can see it really is. It's from that second mounting point, isn't it? We're on board with Flory, and you're looking at that battle in front. Gary Ott moving across to the left-hand side. I don't think he's serious about making a pass there. That's just about showing yourself in the mirrors. You want to make the other driver drive on their mirrors is the term. So you want to make them look in their mirrors and miss their braking point or miss their apex. Javier Borgio, with the broken rear wing, is closing the gap more. So I wonder if he's got less drag on the straight. Is he just picking up top speed, Tony?
Yeah, it's an active
aero.
Aero package, Formula 1 style now.
What is it that we're calling the Ferrari one? We have to be careful, obviously representing
Macarena.
Ferrari. The Macarena. I've heard it called a number of different things. Borgio looks to the inside line. Waltersdorf holding on to this position for now, but with the way this has been going, look, Waltersdorf again, the car 4 wheels sliding wide there, so just grip levels coming down with the battling that's going on. I don't think this fight's over yet, not at all.
I think the cars, even at the slow speed S's, are struggling to see where the inside curb is.
Oh,
look at that.
Again, he's so late on the brakes and he's inside this time. Can he hold on all the way down the straight? So Borgio maybe could pull in here and get the slipstream, but he's looking to try and make the pass on Waltersdorf in the blue and white car. Waltersdorf out wide. Borgio's going to go for it here. He's got to commit if he wants to get it done. Without the rear wing, is he going to lose any traction on the brakes? He doesn't. He passes Waltersdorf. He goes a little bit deep. Waltersdorf back up the inside. Almost contact between them, and he takes the position back.
What a good fight going on with these 4 cars.
Amazing stuff here. Lewis Flory must be looking and thinking it's my turn, and he nearly pins it. So Flory gets sideways on the exit just as he's thinking, right, I'm in the mix here. Loses traction at the rear. Gary Ott now is the man who's looking like he wants to make a move back on Javier Borgio. Borgio with that damage on the car, taking a lot of curb still. Waltersdorf is wide of the apexes. I wonder if he's watching his mirrors too much, Tony. Inside, Borgio drops it on the brakes. He sees it in time. Waltersdorf goes inside. Borgio in the gravel. Can he get out of there or not? Gary Ott slots back through, so Ott moves up a position. Borgio went very late on the brakes and spun and has put it over the edge of the curb. Now, if he's stuck there, they'll have to send the full course yellow out. There's a flashing yellow there, but we don't know whether or not he's going to be off completely. Here's the replay, Tony.
Yeah, Waltersdorf goes really early on brakes, and Borgio just was so concentrated on overtaking him and just to avoiding not to hitting the back of his car. And let's see if he got stuck now in the gravel trap. Looked like the real wheels just dropped on the gravel, so let's see.
Okay, he is stuck. There he is. He's stuck. We were waiting for the cloud to clear in the TV truck. Absolutely buried it. So for me, that's going to be a yellow, surely. They're going to have to drag that out.
Yeah, it's just 1 feet of the difference.
He came off the brake as well, Tony. Exactly. I saw him come off the brake going backwards, and he didn't. He wanted to stay on the brake and keep it in that runoff zone.
Exactly.
But I think there will have to be a full course yellow, and there is. Full course yellow is called, and as it's called, they're side by side. Is that the leaders? I think the leaders of the category. I think it was. Have they seen the yellow flags now and realised they need to back off? Was it Rosser and Spurman?
Then the thing here is to have another restart.
Spurman, I can see, is it Dayton in front? It might be Dayton who's stuck in the middle. Sorry, Tony, carry on.
Yeah, another restart with the tires we have right now, with the action we're having with these drivers on track. So another restart. That might be interesting.
I'm thinking the same. Without the restart, it was
another
interesting.
One off. 199.
No, that's a nightmare. Okay, 2 cars off. That might be a long recovery. John Lennon is in the wall there. Atari Hotels. We said yesterday Nina JD did gaming at his hotels, but I didn't realise it was Atari. That's games consoles type of gaming, the sort of thing you used to play in in the arcade. Damage here, look on the rear right. You can see that's where the wing doesn't look so bad, does it? Without the aero force over it, pushing it down. Maybe a little bit on the rear fender, but so much gravel stuck in the car, and they'll be waiting now. So with 9 minutes to go and 2 cars to recover, I'm not sure I fancy our chances of a lap. Having said that, if they get the trucks out quickly, Tony, we could get back underway.
Yeah, did we see a few occasions last year that they threw in the red flag really decisive early, cleared the track, and then we had a restart?
Yeah,
so
that might be a bad idea. Stop it and re-go?
Yeah, let's see what the race director and the stewards decide here, but it might be a bit longer recovery.
So we're hearing that the recovery trucks might be doing a full lap to get to the incident, which is not ideal, but there we go. So obviously they aren't capable of doing a 2-minute lap like a Ferrari Challenge car is. There will be some recovery truck. And we have 2, and to be fair, the 199 of John Lennon is so far into the loose. Here's the replay. Have a look at this for us, Tony, and give us your... Oh, he drops it there on the exit.
Just on his own.
Does well not to go in the wall, to be fair.
Yeah, we talked about the dust, the visibility.
If
and
you're
also,
in the villas, you wouldn't be happy there.
Yes, and also for the team, for the crew to clear the car, the floor, everything. So there's a couple of hours of work to clear everything. You don't want the dust, the small stones go in between the engine and everything. So there's quite a lot of work. I think he just lost it on his own. Tire wear, optimistic on throttle, and maybe low position on traction control. And yeah, second, third, I would say second to third gear corner, and lost the rear.
Well, there we go. It happened, I'm afraid. Well, we can all take a bit of a breather then, I think, for a minute here. We're waiting to see where those recovery trucks are. I'm hoping that it is multiple trucks. I say we'll need one, and it is deep in the gravel and far into the gravel trap, which makes it hard because obviously you don't want to get the recovery truck stuck as well. So the gravel trap there is to keep the vehicles out of the wall, and it's done its job. But the car is deep in the gravel and a long way from the track. So at that point, you've either got to get high abs in, like proper... Let's take a look. We've got another angle of the replay from the first one. Here's another look at it. So that, yeah, he jinks left and brakes at the same time, but this is where he needed to stay on the brake, and he might have got away with it. Big dust cloud. I was asking the truck, has he got out? And they were like, we'd love to tell you, but we can't see because of the dust. So Ross leads from Sperman and Kozira in the Cobbleshell Am. Mike Chen leads Chuck Whittle and Brian Waltersdorf in Cobbleshell. Gary Ott was the man on the move there, with Lewis Flory as well, had done well. Lewis had kept himself out of trouble, other than a big old tank slapper on the exit of the corner when he was in that train of cars. To be fair as well, great stuff from Javier with trying to move up the inside. On Mendoza it was, wasn't it? Yeah, but unfortunately... Or is it Jesus Mendoza? It might be Jesus Mendoza, my apologies. I think it is. Yes, it is. It's Jesus Mendoza who had the issue. He done well, though. So Mendoza, looking at this, had qualified in 17th. And he was fighting for... Where was he fighting for? P4? No. He was with Brian Waltersdorf. He was fighting for P3. No, in his category. Yeah, he was... Can't remember. Ah, they've got it out. So the one car is out. So that is the car out down at the gravel trap. Is that we think is Mendoza, is it? Oh, I'm completely lost. No idea. It's fine. So we've got one out. We just need to wait and see whether or not we can get the 199 out with 5. No, I don't think this is going to happen, I'm afraid. With 5 minutes to go, I think that the race will be declared. 177 is not showing on our screens because he's too far down, I think, now with the timing. It was Rodriguez Borgio. I was right, it was Javier. Yes, I correct myself again. It was Javier Borgio, Rodriguez Borgio, not Jesus Mendoza. But Jesus Mendoza would have done brilliantly if he'd been in that situation and fought his way up. But he didn't, but that's fine. We've got some new drivers. Announcers make mistakes. I'm sorry, there we go. It's all good. So Chen leads from Whittle and Waltersdorf. They're in behind, but I just think a slow lap here. I mean, they've really got to get a wiggle on with that recovery truck. They've got to get there fast with a long rope, pull it out and get it somewhere safe. They are there now, look, the safety crew. and they are going to reverse across the gravel trap, so they must have all-wheel drive on the truck. They've just got to get it out and to safety. If the lights don't come off on this next lap, Tony, it's game over, because there's 2 laps left now.
Yeah, it's very tight. There's still a lot of things to do. Also, in few places, there's a lot of dust on the racetrack, so it's gonna be tight. In Coppachel, Michael Owens got up to speed with his new car, 2:04.8, so he's just a little bit more than half a second from the fastest lap of the race, and starting last in Coppachel, he's now P8, so very good that he was able to join the race after a very difficult qualifying. So while we were following the leaders in Coppachel and Chelam, Michael Owens was able to gain some positions, and his lap times have been up there.
That's you said about the start of the race, him not having the lap time. There's a bit of feeling the new car, isn't there? There's a bit of being in traffic, and there's a bit of confidence. And actually, for him, just to get his confidence back and move up a few places is great for tomorrow.
Exactly.
We know he's quick,
yeah,
but a big shunt like that can knock your confidence.
Yes, yeah, he was on a good flying lap. Paolo Ruperti told me that purple first sector was really that he was on it, and he tried to get the overall pole position, and then made a mistake in the high-speed S's. Just ran the entry a bit wide and riding the next curve too much. When the car landed, he lost a rear left grip, and with the over rotation, the car went to the inside wall in qualifying.
Yeah, and luckily to the tyre wall. Great positioning by the thermal club of the tyre wall. They've had to think about where are you going to end up. That's the thing here. With more experience as a driver, you get to realise where cars are going to go. So if someone drops it in front of you, you have a very good idea of what direction it will go in. And of course, some of these drivers are still learning that. But from a safety point of view as well, when you're looking at corners, you go, right, what if he lifts here? What if this breaks? What if that comes off? And they've got it out. They've got it out. So we do stand. No, don't let him run over the strap. No, get on the brake. He might be able to start that and drive it out of the way, but they have got to get on with it if they want to do that. It could go across this section of track here, look, and be parked in the middle. But literally, we have 2 minutes left. All they can do now is put the lights out on the safety car. To be honest, I don't think I don't even think the safety crew can get back to the truck in time to get away. So, minute 55. Keep your eye on the safety car at the front. If the lights go out on that, then the intention is to. The lights are still on. If the lights go out before the end of this is the end of the back straight, it's not going to happen. What a shame. What a shame. We were having some really, really fun racing there, but I'm afraid the lights are going to be on, I think, as they come round, at which points they might as well put the checkered flag out now rather than drag it out for another lap. But let's see what they decide to do. Not going in on this one. With a minute 26 left, they will not make it round for another lap. Nope, no checker, double yellow. We've got a minute left, but let's do another lap. Here we go. The drivers at least. Oh, hang on, there's the checker, but only for P4 onwards. Gary Ott no, I'm only joking. So Mike Chen takes it from Chuck Whittle and Brian Waltersdorf. Good decision by race control. With a minute remaining, we know we're not going to get round for another lap. So in Coppachel Am, Rosser has taken the checker flag from Sperman and Kozira. And it's Peruskia, and Nicholas Holt takes P5 on his debut. I think that's a good job, well done.
Yeah, definitely well done. Avoided the crash in turn 1 at the race start, and then drove his own race. His target was to finish the race, and now for tomorrow he can set a little bit more ambitious targets.
Yes.
Qualify,
take a few more risks,
Yeah, qualify front row.
Make some space in qualifying as well. Yeah.
Yes, and now he's done the first full race with qualifying and the race itself. He did the full race distance, so very good job from Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Great to see him here outside of his comfort zone and having some fun. And I think, is that him there? No, that's the 113. That's Blake Ross, the winner of Coppachel Am. Nicely done. Blake is a new name as well, I think, for our series. As far as I'm aware, I don't remember him taking part in any races last year. So good job to take a win here.
Celebrating already.
Yeah.
Look, waving. Happy.
Yeah, very happy. Good stuff. Right, day one done and dusted. Dusted in a number of different ways. We had a few dust ups out on track, then we had some dust kicked up off the track. Hopefully there won't be any dust ups in the paddock. We still don't know what happened in Trofeo Pirelli Am in the background. We just know something happened at the restart. I'm rather hoping we might be able to collect some onboards or something and just see what happened there. But good racing in both categories. I think passing is possible here. We've seen some passes when the racing is close. The long straights mean that that's quite good fun. And I think mistakes are happening too. I think the track, as you said, Tony, is so technical that people are making mistakes. So should be good fun tomorrow. Join us then and we'll get race 2 of each of these series underway. Mike Chen takes the win in Copper Shell from Chuck Whittle and Brian Waltersdorf. Then Gary Ott and Lewis Flory, they were up for the fight, but unfortunately the race was shortened due to the full course yellow. Andrew Parker, Kevin Orsini, Michael Owens, Michael Moyes and Joel Rosier top 10. Results here by FI8. Brad Evans, Blake Rosser, Ryan Dayton. Blake Rosser, the winner of Copper Shell Am. Fabian Sperman and Melissa Kozira rounding out the podium. Lewis Piruskia, 16th but 4th in Copper Shell Am. Nicholas Holt, 17th, 5th in Shell Am. Good job. Steve Check, Darren Bernstein down to P19 overall. A packed grid for Copper Shell and Copper Shell Am. And there we go. That's our finishers on the pages here. Into the paddock comes Mike Chen. Mike, hats off for having some blue bits on the car. I know Ferrari is famous for red, but you know what, Tony? It's pretty tough sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, we have quite a few solid red Ferraris, but also beautiful liveries.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes we struggle a bit to identify. We don't see the race number straight away. Overall, great racing, beautiful weather. This place is awesome.
Yes, agreed.
Thermal is very, very special. And very good opening day of our championship. So looking
we've got some good stories,
to,
haven't we?
Yeah.
Looks like there's a number of people who are in with the pace here in Copper Shell. Like to me, the top 6, top 8. Okay, Chen and Whittle did get away, but the top 6 there were having exciting fights. Copper Shell and Melissa Kozira is definitely in with the championship fight, having taken those wins at the end of last year. We've got new drivers in Rosser. Sperman's doing well. And then obviously in Trofeo Pirelli, just great to see the finally Johnny Kaminsky taking a win at the start of his second season. I just think, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be close.
Good action on track. Also the fact we extended a bit the qualifying sessions. We felt that drivers were a little bit more calm.
Yes.
They were not rushing things too much, and great day.
Yeah, good fun. Quali again tomorrow morning, followed, of course, by the 2 races. Doesn't want to drink right now. I'm sure maybe he'll have one later. You can't really have too much of a drink today. That's the only problem with winning on day 1. You can't have much champagne ahead of day 2. Oh, do you hear that? The shout in the background, Daddy. That was wonderful. Look at that. That's really cute. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, awesome. Nice highlight of the day there, wasn't it? Daddy! Brilliant. I'd be really pleased running.
Daddy is the new idol in the family.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Oh, nice as well. That's fantastic. That's Chuck Whittle coming over. And great to see Chuck has got a paint job on the helmet which matches the car as well. Very cool. Chuck had a brilliant livery last year as well. Awesome. Helmet coming off. Balaclava 2, finally time to get a drink of water and just cool yourself down a little bit. And that's Rosser, who's over the moon, clearly over the moon. Hugs all round. Qualified P2, but managed to get the job done. I forget what happened to Glenn Moss. Was he involved early in the race? Just disappeared off our leaderboards. Okay, well, let me see. Nina Jade Paul is down with Mike Chen now. Sorry, Nina Jade Paul. Down to Nina.
Mike, congratulations. You made that look easy. First pole, first win. Good day at the office.
Yes, it's a very, very good day. The car drives very good. And yeah, first win. The race went as planned. Trying to keep the tire in a good condition throughout the whole race. And yeah, for the first half, it is good. So, and the second half, unfortunately, there's a safety car, and we couldn't finish the race. We couldn't go through the checker flag in a race, but yeah, overall it's good. it's a good win.
How are you feeling about tomorrow?
Tomorrow, feeling good, feeling good. Yeah, hopefully it's fun. So I really enjoy it. Hopefully again tomorrow, and just enjoy the race.
Well, you got a great haul of points today, and we go again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
I think very understated, but he said first win. Really obviously pleased with that. There's Melissa Kozira doing a great job with the P3 on the podium at the first race. She will be the top female driver as well here. There's a ladies' cup and a gentleman's cup as well. Those are 4 different categories. Podiums still to come if you want to stick around for those. If you do not, then you can join us tomorrow. Remember, qualifying show in the morning and then the races in the afternoon. They'll race the other way around, so Copper Shell first and Trofeo Pirelli second tomorrow. And Nina J. Poole is with Blake Rosser, the winner of Copper Shell Am here at round 1.
We have another case of first pole and first win. Congratulations. Oh, you didn't get the pole, you got second place. You got the win, and that is the main thing. Talk us through how it was out there.
Well, the start was crazy because I kind of missed a shift coming up, and then I think he dove, she got inside me, and she made a brilliant start, but then went wide. And I thought, oh, I'm going to hit her. And then someone else, I don't know if it was him or the other car, was outside. He couldn't get traction down, so I got him going into 2. And then after that, he started coming back at me. But it was fun. It was, track was tricky because it started to degrade quick with the tires. But it was fun out there. So.
What was the key to your race today?
I think just keeping a cool head and just staying focused. My team was telling me, you got a gap. But he's matching your lap times. He's gaining a little bit. Pick it up. So every little bit helped.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Very cool. And I think he's right. I think keeping a cool head is the right thing to do. And having the team telling him the gaps, Tony, all very sensible and measured.
Yeah, and also the body language he has now after the race is telling me that he had everything under control. Also the fact that the teams are actually giving a lot of advice to the drivers, and that is important during the race because you're focused on your racing line, but then the information, this speed is enough, keep doing the same thing, is a good message for driver.
Certainly is. Here's the results then of the first race of the season for Copper Shells. Points, Mike Chen, Chuck Whittle, Brian Waltersdorf the top 3, separated by 7 points. Then Gary Ott, Lewis Flory, Andrew Parker, Kevin Orsini and Michael Owens. Yes, of course, at this first round, the points are very similar to the race standings, but it's just a good indicator of who's got the first blood in the championship. Michael Moyes, Yoel Rose, Brad Evans, Ryan Dayton, Javier Rodriguez Borgio and Roy Carroll, the top 14 in Copper Shell. The Thermal Club in the background there, one of the wonderful palms here. Shell Am, Blake Rosser leading from Fabian Sperman and Melissa Kozira. Then it's Louis Pesquier and then Nicholas Holt, P5. Steve Check, Darren Bernstein and Jamie Garrett, 23 to 35 at the top. That's only 12 points over the top 8 positions. Lance Corley, Henry Hummel, Tim Dweet, Jesus Mendoza, Daniel Roberts and Ed Bartugin with Joe Sposato in 15th. There we are. Just the podiums to do. You can see everybody getting ready down at Casa Ferrari for that. Yeah, some very happy drivers down there, having done the job on the first day. I think it was a tough race for them in these high heat conditions, but a good way for us to kick off the season. Great racing across the different categories. So if you would like to stick around, we will be doing the podium shortly, but there will be a bit of a break in between. Otherwise, join us tomorrow for qualifying and the 2 races later on in the day. So later in the day, we'll have Copper Shell followed by Trofeo Pirelli, but in the morning, first piece of action will be qualifying for all 4 categories. 15 minutes each for those different drivers in the different categories to set the grids for tomorrow. 9:35 if you'd like to join us for qualifying. Thank you very much indeed. That's Pacific time. Thank you very much indeed to Tony Verlander here announcing with me. Nina J. Poole down the grid. My name is Andrew Coley. Thanks for joining us. Stick around if you want to see the podiums. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for qualifying. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium presentation for the first round of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026 from the Thermal Club. We're delighted to have you all here with us today, and we're ready to get started and bring out our first podium of the day. We will start now with the presentation for the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. So please welcome, in third place, Brad Falvra. In second place, we have Manny Franco. And your winner today, taking his first ever win in Ferrari Challenge, Johnny Kaminski. Please now let's remove our hats for the winner's national anthem. Now, please welcome to the stage Luca Zanetti, President of Ferrari North America, to present the trophies to our winners. Great start to the season for Brad Falvra in third. Manny Franco with P2. Good fight for him here at one of his home tracks. But the winner, from pole position with the fastest lap as well, Johnny Kaminski. We'd also like to invite to the stage, please, Lydia Mariani, Pirelli Commercial Manager for Motorsport North America, from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Johnny Kaminski. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Long Island to accept the Trofeo Pirelli Team Award, once again presented by Lydia Mariani, Pirelli Commercial Manager, Motorsport North America. There we are. Please show your trophies for the photos. Congratulations to all our winners. And of course, now it's time for the champagne! Next up, then, we will invite the podium finishers of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM class. In third place, please give it up for Kevin Gutierrez. In second place here at the Thermal Club, Frank Chang. And your winner today, Esteban Beckman. Please now remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. to present the trophies to our winners. Please welcome Tim Rogers, the founder of the Thermal Club. Kevin Gutierrez there with the P3. Second place goes to Frank Chang. But the big trophy to our winner today, Esteban Beckman. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to invite back to the stage, please, Lydia Mariani, Pirelli Commercial Manager, Motorsport North America, from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Esteban Beckman. And please also now welcome a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Trofeo Pirelli AM Team Award. Once again, presented by Lydia Mariani. There we are. Congratulations to you all. Please get those trophies held high for the photos. And now, of course, you just have one job left to do here on day one. It's time for the champagne! Okay, next up then, we'd like to invite to the podium for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell. So please welcome in third place, Brian Waltersdorf. In second place today, Chuck Whittle. And your winner in Copper Shell, Mike Chen. Please also welcome to the stage the winner of our Gentleman's Cup today, and that is Gary Ott. Now please remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. We'd like to now welcome to the stage Louis Colmash, the head of sales for Ferrari North America, to present the trophies to our winners. First of all then, third place, Brian Waltersdorf. Some great battles in this race throughout the field. Chuck Whittle with second place. Chuck needs a trophy for his liveries, his helmet and his race suit as well, always looking good. And Mike Chen with the winner's trophy. Lovely scenes as he was greeted by his family when he came back to Parc Ferme. Gary Ott in the thick of those fights as well, taking the Gentleman's Cup, great drive. Please now welcome a representative from Ferrari of Beverly Hills to accept the Copper Shell Team Award, once again presented by Louis Colmash, head of sales, Ferrari North America. Congratulations to all our winners. Please hold those trophies up for the photos, everybody. And then if you don't want a champagne shower, it's time to leave the stage because it is time for the champagne. And finally then, let's have the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell Am. Welcome to the stage, in third place, Melissa Kozira. In second place, Fabian Sperman. And your winner today, please give it up for Blake Rosser. We need a second round of applause for Melissa Kozira because she's also won the Ladies' Cup. And please welcome to the stage the winner of the Gentleman's Cup, Luis Peruskia. Congratulations to you all. Let's please now remove our hats for the winner's national anthem. We'd now like to welcome to the stage Gabby Sull, FIA Brand Ambassador, to present the trophies to our winners. Melissa Kozira with P3, nicely done. Fabian Sperman with second place, good job. And the winner today, very pleased earlier on, and rightly so, Blake Rosser takes P1. Ladies' Cup now to Melissa Kozira, 2 trophies for Melissa. And for Luis Peruskia, the Gentleman's Cup. So lastly, please welcome a representative from Ferrari of San Diego to accept the Copper Shell Am Team Award, once again presented by Gabby Sull, FIA Brand Ambassador. Trophies up for the photos then, please, ladies and gentlemen. Good job by you all. And now trophies down for the final time today. It is time for the champagne. Oh, now that's a proper champagne spray by Blake Rosser. He knew what to do. What a great day's racing here at the Thermal Club for the first round of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. Join us tomorrow for more of the same. Round 2 for Copper Shell and Trofeo Pirelli. We will see you then.